Coming up on Now You Made It Awkward podcast.
If you basically got the option, would you just make yourself comfortable and try to give your kids the best life you could for the next 2 years? Or would you basically throw everything at the wall like they've done? Basically just to end up dead and your kids watching you die.
Right.
Which one would you possibly choose? I know it's kind of an impossible thing to just go with, but...
We've discussed this, and you know what I'd do, and I'm not going to bring it up again.
Okay, murder spree aside. Shut the fuck up.
At one point, before he got the Nextel device, we were sitting at a bar drinking and had a whiteboard.
Yeah.
And he just write fucking insults on it all day.
You can tell when he's getting drunker, it gets really scribbled. By the end, starts drawing dirty pictures instead. Like, big dick, your ass.
We needed another round. He wrote that on the board and just held it up.
More beer, please. That's funny. So you were leading the way for the little furry kids, is what it is. I was peeing in litter boxes before it was cool.
It's just a little teaser.
Yes.
And then they leave you hanging.
Yes.
It's so fucking irritating. It's getting good.
So he's like cucking you a little bit. Possibly the wrong word.
What the fuck, dude?
I don't know. I mean, your man's over there sitting there leaving you a little short. Leaving you with a little chub.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad.
I did have to go rescue Amy's car.
Yeah.
I heard.
Morning.
We heard about that, sort of. Where did it break down this time?
First, for some reason, she left it in the Dick's Sporting Good parking lot while her and her friend went to get feed in College Station. While it was there, the alarm started going off for no reason.
Okay.
Cops actually ran the plates, called her, and said, "Hey, are you nearby? Your alarm's going off." And she said, "Well, no, I'm not." Anyway, they get there, battery was low. Betsy had jumper cables, jumped her off, dropped it off at Betsy's place. And Betsy took Amy and Luke home.
Okay.
So we got up in the morning, jumped in the Jetta, got everything we needed, grabbed my multimeter. It fired off without a jump. Tested it, charging it 1392. Perfect. And said, "You need a new battery. This thing's old as hell. No sticker on it."
Yeah.
I mean, just super old. So,
I need one in my own car, too.
So we went, got the battery, $214 battery.
Yeah, dog.
Ran it through a commercial account, $160.
Dude, when I eat
Yes.
mine here in a couple of weeks, I'm going to need you to pull that for me.
Done.
Because, dude, the cost of car batteries makes no sense. When I worked at Walmart, the highest one you could get, which was the big fuck off ones for the Chevy diesels, was 110.
Yeah, we got the best one they had that the O'Reilly's had that would fit.
Yeah.
And extra year, I mean, badass battery.
Yeah.
And 160.
Yeah.
It's like when I raced and everything. I mean, we didn't really run alternators because you want to have the weight and everything gone with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the batteries were like $50-$60, but
For like an old school, like I remember like the old Honda batteries, the tiny little fuckers for Civics and stuff, were like $65.
Well, now the like in my little van, it calls for them some special gel type battery.
Yeah,
of
and
course.
those are $260.
Sorry,
did I do that?
no, that was.
I've gotten 2 of them for free off of Walmart.
That was someone's wife.
Nice.
Yes,
That was someone's wife doing that on the family chat.
Mine.
Yes.
Ah,
That's okay. That's my fault for not having it muted.
yes, it is.
I haven't even.
But also, I didn't know I had Facebook open, so I'm sitting here looking at the cameras.
It must be yours because I haven't even heard from mine today at all.
She's
But
still
yeah, we
alive.
did all that. I grabbed my tool bag. Only thing I didn't have was a 10 millimeter deep socket.
You never do.
So
Okay.
so the dude in there was kind enough to lend me one.
We have Chad Cam.
Hey.
Chad Cam exists. Cool.
But yeah, that was my yesterday.
Yeah. So the funny part is, whenever I had to fix my brake situation the other day, that's when I discovered how corroded my battery tray was, and like the terminals and everything. And I was like, I know I replaced this battery in the last few years. I just don't remember when. But that would explain probably why it's having a hard time. Also, I think I discovered my clutch fluid is a little low, so I probably need to add some of that, which would probably help in that pedal pressure.
Yeah, I'm about to check all of that. I'm about to do oil, transmission, check clutch fluid, bleed brakes, all that fun stuff.
So I'm gonna need to make your shop dirty soon. On a day you don't have like 6 vehicles.
Bring cardboard.
Yeah, I'll bring towels. Well, because I got my front sway bar coming, which means all I got to do is get my tie rods and I can go ahead and knock out all my front suspension. But I'm gonna do my control arms. I'm gonna bring them upstairs and pull out the bushings, put in the good ones, while I don't have to do it in the hot shop. It's like I have all the parts. I can just pre-assemble it, and then just when I'm good to go, slap it in place with some lube, But because I mean, it's just the lower control arms, the tie rods, and the front sway bar. That shouldn't take more than about 4 hours on the high end. It's like if I'm overestimating it, that should only be about 4 hours.
I've done that calculation before too. Never
Right.
works out.
Yeah.
And it takes one broken bolt to turn it into a multi-day process.
Yeah. Well, I'm adding. Well, the fact that I don't have to like unbolt anything else, like it's just basically drop the sway bar.
I'm not far, and we have bolt extractors, brand new set, ready to go, just in case.
Well, see, the fact that you said that is actually why something will break.
Yes.
See, the thing is, I don't own a bolt extractor, so therefore my bolts don't break. But also, there's only in that entire setup that's only going to be 4 bolts.
Okay, and big bolts.
Yeah, well, 2 big ones and then 2 small ones for the sway bar. So I mean, that's the only bolts, and then basically just whatever you got to use to get the tie rod off.
You need a Ugga?
No, I got Ugga.
Okay.
I got Dak-Daks. It's like I got my Ryobi Dak-Daks. We're good. No, I have everything. I even have my jack stands and everything else like that. That's not that big a deal.
I did something you've been on me for months about. I added to my Instagram.
What did you add to Instagram?
That switch, testing that switch.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't even notice.
That's because no one follows it.
It's like, yeah. Well, I actually had to pare down my Instagram. Sorry, Dante. I had to stop following BJJ Wiki because he posts 14 times a day.
Right.
And it's hard to see anything else, other than that. Also, I'm scheduling ahead of time, probably for Colompton's 250, which will be February next year. So I'll be like, well, I'm going up for 250.
Nice.
Oh, speaking of which, we still need to decide on whether or not we're going to do the 150 questionnaire. Actually, I thought about it. We could do 151 and then drink a certain alcohol that we've got.
Yes.
So should we wait till 151 and then crack open that bottle?
Which one? The
151 that we got out there?
We could.
Yeah. And in theory, that would be in roughly a month.
Yeah.
Which may or may not get you to the point that you can have some fun.
Yeah, that should be all right.
In theory.
In theory.
So it'd be like our 100 questionnaire. So I think that's what we'll do.
151 for 151.
Yeah, 151.
Yeah, I'll try to take off for that one and Uber here and back.
Yeah, or we'll have someone sober take you.
Yeah, come get me.
Yeah, but because I thought about it, because I could, if we schedule it at on a day that we can have more friends come over.
Yeah,
we can get Louie, we could get maybe Will because he was here for 100.
Maybe.
Oh, Will just. I got to call out our good friend Will because he just stopped paying on the Patreon.
Really?
I'm calling him out. I mean, he was only on the $5 a month supporting the podcast level, and he switched down to a freebie level. Mm-hmm. Come on, Will. Come on. Unless you lost your job, in which case I'll understand. But, it's $5. Well, now I can't even listen to the uncut show, which you guys can do over on the Shoki Reviews Patreon if you want to listen to that. Either way. Look, oh wait, no, hold on. 151. So we're at 148 today. So this will be 148. So that's 3 more weeks. Mm-hmm. If we stretch it out, we could stretch it to a month and skip one because I don't know where or if we're going to get that extra episode in or not with the other guys.
Okay.
If that doesn't go in, that wouldn't be a regular episode anyways. Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll see how that all falls. I don't know. Kind of complicated. It is what it is. But yeah, if we can figure out at least 3 weeks in advance, Chad will have apple juice.
No.
He will be drinking something labeled that he has to cover up.
Oh.
That's acceptable.
Well, nothing was ever poured on camera. They have no idea what that light brown liquid is. I will edit this out, by the way. This is in the uncut bullshit part. Either way, let's get going. We're already rolling 30 minutes late.
Yeah, we are.
Almost. All right, let's see what time. Okay. Oh, yep. Let's mute the watch because that will still do the thing. There we go. And also, yeah, like I said, we don't have a Shaun question. He might have been too busy again. He's only sent me one message all morning long. Like Shaun usually by 10 o'clock has already sent me about 15 different messages on a normal day, either voicemails.
So he's having a bad day,
maybe. I mean,
or a really good day, and he doesn't need to vent.
So I do want to say this because we've talked about it over the last year or so. Effectively his sister-in-law Misty, the one who has cancer, it has gotten extremely, extremely bad. They're actually down here in Houston right now. I'm gonna guess at MD Anderson. I guess because they just found. They were wondering why her cancer was still spreading and growing, despite the treatments and the fact that she gained more brain lesions. So they checked her CSF, cerebral spinal fluid. Yeah, cancer cells all up in there. So they're talking about a treatment that I've never heard of, but sounds insane, doing chemo directly into the spinal fluid.
Good gosh.
I'm just like,
Scorched earth.
how is that? I'm sorry. I mean, if you're literally at last desperation point, maybe, but do they even know what that'll do? Like that sounds like insta-death to me. I mean, chemo just into your blood basically kills you until you live from it.
Yeah.
It's like going directly into the fluid that basically makes your body work. Fuck that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's going to immobilize you like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, she's already having a lot of issues, and like it's really, really sad. He's been keeping me up on it lately. But it's basically the same path that they just watched their dad go through.
God.
And it's accelerating.
At that point, why not try everything?
They have.
Due to personal experience, I went down a rabbit hole. There's been a bunch of studies using ivermectin in daily doses to literally reduce and clear cancer.
I don't remember if they tried that or not, but they have tried at least 2 or 3 different experimental procedures, because the problem with her cancer is it's everywhere.
Right.
It was already everywhere.
I mean, hell, at that point, I'd be using the ivermectin. I'd be hitting cannabinoids, doing everything I can to reverse it.
Yeah, I think they've done all of the standard medical stuff and the experimental medical stuff, and it only went backwards like twice, and not by enough to matter, unfortunately. And this brings up the conversation I think we might have had then too. Is like if you basically were given a terminal diagnosis to be like, look, this is going to be a nightmare to treat. Like, you've got cancer in 3 parts of your body, and none of it can we really remove to the best of our ability. We can get to some of it. Breast tissue, that's obvious. Lungs, depending on how it goes, you can get to it. Liver, fuck. Brain, nope. Especially if it's like tiny dots all over, you can't do anything but nuke that or poison it out of the way, right? But if you got that diagnosis, and the doctor said, it's like, look, you can get treated, and you're basically going to spend your last couple of years. You're probably going to only extend your life by a few months, but you're going to spend the whole time sick, falling apart, and your kids are going to watch you because you guys are both dads. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, happy post-Father's Day to everybody out there as I talk about this sad shit. But if you basically got the option, would you just make yourself comfortable and try to give your kids the best life you could for the next 2 years? Or would you basically throw everything at the wall like they've done? Basically just to end up dead and your kids watching you die.
Right.
Which one would you possibly choose? I know it's kind of an impossible thing to just go with, but...
We've discussed this, and you know what I'd do, and I'm not going to bring it up again.
Okay, murder spree aside.
You said it, not
Sorry,
me.
Vengeance spree, sorry. No, I mean, just to deal with your family life, not that.
All right.
Not the fix the world's problems, how do you live your own life? Because the way I looked at it is there's a reason why the stuff in Sweden and the stuff in Canada does exist. And, we even had assisted suicide back in the day. Dr. Kevorkian obviously being super famous for it, but he was more in talking people into killing themselves, not necessarily just because they were in bad off way. But basically it's like, look, you're a terminal illness. We can give you some fun drugs that's going to at least make it suck less. You'll be in less pain and whatnot, but you'll be able to be happy with your kids. Because if I recall correctly, the doctors told her, like, look, gave her this option. You can fight and we can throw everything we can at it and hope for the best. Or you can basically, get stoned when you need to get through a bad day and give your kids the best life they can while you're still here. And they went with the more painful route.
Right.
So, I mean, it's everyone's personal decision, but for me, it's like, I think if I know I'm done, I'm cooked, it's like, fuck it. Let's live up life. It's like
make memories instead of
good memories
instead of your family's final memories of you being just broken down and sick,
rotting effectively. Yeah, and it's everyone's personal decision. But it's like personally, considering last week we talked a lot about depression and suicide, and people who are on these medications often get there. Basically they want to die, even if they're at a point of healing, quote unquote. Like cancer's done, but we still got to nuke it a little bit. So you got to have to suffer for another 6 weeks, and people will literally be in so much pain, especially from like radiation and chemo, that they just want to fucking die. So that's why they have to medicate them out their fucking mind.
Oh, I watched my old ops manager go through treatment after treatment after treatment. Went into remission. Something came back. More chemo, in remission, more chemo. And it's just kicking his ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you had any of that, Chad? Anybody in your family with cancer?
My uncle.
Okay.
Lung cancer and everything. He went and got treated, got better, then started smoking again, got it again, then he passed away. So
that fast?
Yep.
Like it just came rip roaring back?
Rip roaring back, yep.
And like lung cancer is kind of the easy one to pick on, because it's like, well, you weren't smoking, or if you didn't work in all these ships for... stripping shit.
That was my grandpa.
Firefighter in the 70s.
That too.
I watched a good friend, throat cancer came back for the third time.
Yeah.
He had his voice box removed. We called him Nextel. He had to push to talk.
He's got the chirp.
He still, up until he got really weak, he maintained a good attitude. We'd go fishing all the time.
Yeah, you told me about this guy.
Scotty and I'd take him out. The last few times he could barely get on the boat, but he could still pilot.
Yeah, you mentioned this.
We had a blast. I miss that fucker.
Where he was laughing because you guys were fighting over something. I was like, ah. Shut the fuck up.
At one point, before he got the Nextel device, we were sitting at a bar drinking and had a whiteboard.
Yeah.
And he just write fucking insults on it all day.
You could tell when he's getting drunker, it gets really scribbled. By the end, starts drawing dirty pictures instead. Like big dick, your ass.
We needed another round. He wrote that on the board and just held it up.
More beer, please. That's funny. That's fucking funny.
We had some fun.
Yeah. But yeah, so but kind of we'll just get started here. Episode 148 over here on the Now You Made It Awkward podcast. We'll do the intros right quick because we don't have a lot to talk about, but we also have a lot to talk about. It's weird because we skipped a lot last week, but it's fine. But of course, I am your host, Shoki. You can follow me at all the Shoki related links down below, whether that's Shoki Review, Shoki Reviews 2, or the Doesn't Have to Make Sense live stream channel. And of course, if you want to do us a favor and subscribe to this channel, not to mention hit the like button. For the love of God, hit that thumbs up. You feel like it doesn't do anything, but it lets YouTube know that you should watch it. The more likes you get, the more people watch. Used to do this in the live streams, actively go from nobody hitting the like button to everyone in the chat hitting the like button, and suddenly 15 more people show up in the next 20 minutes. All new, because YouTube's like, hey, this person's doing good.
This person's getting liked.
Exactly. So, and Patreon, the thing, the thing where we keep losing subscribers. It's fine. I don't know what's this we shit. It's me. I'm losing subscribers from this. It's unfortunate,
right.
But we still got Shaun, so that's good.
I don't know. We hit the like button every week, but it's like high-fiving yourself,
Yeah.
I do 100%.
Yeah.
I hit the like button on all my stuff.
Me.
It's like, that's weird. The Shoki liked Nymea Pod's post. Nymea Pod liked the Shoki's post. It's like, yeah, it's a lot of masturbation. It's fine. Either way, yes, guys, for as little as $5 a month, you can support this here channel, this here show, and get the full uncut video version where we talked a lot of nonsense and Chad's camera wasn't working. So there was that because I hadn't plugged it in 2 weeks.
I was in the dark.
Yeah, you were in the dark. He was very black. Yep. Either way, so of course, back this week wearing a hat. We have the Heffy.
Hey, I'm back.
Yes, and you can follow him at the
I'm in a
Grounded
decent
and
mead.
Grumpy.
Decent mead. No, decent mood. I'm less grumpy today.
Yeah, less grumpy, can't talk.
No, words hard.
Words be hard. You know, you haven't worn your putos, your Howdy Putos hat.
I haven't.
No, only the one time, and it wasn't even on camera.
Oh, we'll do it next time.
Yeah, you have to wear it on camera next time for your merch. So, guys, you can follow him at the Grounded and Grumpy on the Instagrams, where he did finally post something.
I posted something. Yeah.
Finally,
I went. I should video this.
yeah. Someone kept yelling at you to post things, and you finally listened, guys. If you were listening earlier, he admitted that he listened to me. Finally,
Which is rare.
it's a rare.
I mean, you run your mouth long enough, someone's bound to.
Oh,
I mean, I've been on the internet almost 10 years, and I'm still waiting. Still waiting. Either way. So, hey, look. The chat is back. There's
Hey,
proof.
Chad,
He's on
go
camera. Chad's back this week. Thank God. We were getting worried about you. I know last week was bad, but, with work at least.
Yeah.
So, but we miss you.
Thank
we
you.
had a good discussion about you. I mean, without you.
that makes me feel really good.
Yeah. No, I could say that because nobody's seen that episode yet, so it's what it is. I'm just fucking around. But no, you can follow him at C4 Graphics. See him for all of your printing, wrapping, and signage and other things, and not necessarily T-shirts, but if he had a spot, he'd be making our T-shirts for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be great. Still need shirts and a sign, but it's okay. Oh, yeah, so we'll talk about the sign thing afterwards. Banner.
Okay.
Yeah, because we do need to get that done, but I don't know how processing money and whatnot. So we need to get that done for our on location thing we'll be doing sometime soon at some point. And also, guys, episode 151, we decided in theory while the camera wasn't running. I don't know if that's going to be part of the episode or not. 151 is going to be another mega questionnaire, and we may or may not be drinking. We'll see. There's a reason we're going with 151. If you watch our taste test videos, you might know.
Yeah, designated drivers will probably be a prerequisite.
I won't need one.
No, you'll just sit
yeah.
here.
I live here.
You're going to sit here and piss in the closet.
I can't get in the closet. Chad's chair's in the way.
This bathroom sucks.
Yes.
Yes.
What's this strange odor?
Yes, what is this strange odor?
I don't miss those old party days. I went through a phase where I'd go to a party, and if they had a cat litter box, I'd pee in the cat litter box, so they'd be left with a brick of concrete the next morning.
So you were leading the way for the little furry kids, is what it is. I was peeing in litter boxes before it was cool.
As long as you didn't take a shit in it.
Yeah. As long as he buries it, really,
Yeah.
that's all that matters.
What's wrong with
It'll
mittens?
scoop
You look at the box, it's just a mound.
Yeah.
He poured the bag on top of the pile. Like, at least he's being considerate. Cat sitting next to it.
Just angry as fuck.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of the thumbnail for this episode now. Just a giant mound of cat litter.
Yeah.
And a bald fat guy laying on the floor next to it.
Leaning on the wall.
Yeah. Oh, God. Weird part was that you were holding the cat when you did it. It's just like, either way. Fucking A.
Put me down.
It's a weird version of the Shanghai sayonara.
Yep.
Pet the cat and then leave.
Yes. So, Hefe, where can they contact us if they want to send us questions for episode 151?
They can hit us up on Facebook at Now You Made It Awkward Podcast on our Facebook page. They can email us at nowyoumade.awkwardmail@gmail.com. They can also follow us on our Instagram at Nimea_pod.
Indeed. And unfortunately, we do not currently have a Shaun message that I know of, but let me double quick check here. Update to what we were just talking about. Literally, they hospitalized Misty when they got there, and some of the tumors have gotten so big that basically it's what's causing her current problems.
God.
I hope they don't throw her on hospice immediately.
Honestly, she's not being on her last leg. She should be in hospice.
So he's excused.
I mean, he's busy anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not here.
Okay.
They are.
But still, I'm sure he has a lot on his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
You know, something like that, you just bury yourself in work so you don't have to think.
well, that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's part of what we were talking about last week. Fuck. Yeah. Into the mic.
Okay.
Like get down low. There you go. It's loud enough off mic though. It's good though. We're proud of you.
I thought I was going to sneeze again.
I'm so mad we were not recording that sneeze fit you had because
It was a bad one.
that was one of the weirder sneezes.
That one got stuck.
I mean, the only other one I've heard that was stranger was my inward sneeze that like didn't want to come out.
Schnorky.
Yeah, no. It was the one that got stuck, and I was like, like it was it's like almost like what you said. It's like it never came out. I got the beginning of the sneeze, but it never. So when I say it was an inward sneeze, I don't mean inward. I mean inward. I thought about that lately. Anytime I hear the word inward now, as mean to go inside, I think the word inward as an in-dash word, and I'm just like, I can't not think about that now. It's so dumb. This is the world we live in.
English is fun.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, actually. Jessica and I, English being fun. Oh, did you guys get a chance to watch the new Micro or no?
No, I have
okay.
not. That'll be tonight.
I did.
That'll be tonight after Kill Tony.
I watched it.
I'll laugh
morning.
watching appropriate things and feel better about myself.
Yeah, it was another good one, but it felt like a very short episode compared to the other ones.
Dude, did you catch Kill Tony last week?
Of course.
Not as good.
Wait, which one was last week?
That was the one after Jimmy Carr.
That was the one with Brian Simpson.
Yeah.
No, okay. I thought that one was good.
Dude, Jimmy Carr is like on deck for the guest of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, he was amazing.
Yeah, no, the one with Brian Simpson though was funny because he's so high. Like at the beginning, it's ridiculous, and
he just stays high.
Yeah, but like some of his commentary, because he doesn't talk through most of it because he is so damn like blitzed. But when he says
his
something,
eyes are damn near shut.
Yeah. No, there were really good moments, but there were some crappier moments on it. But it rained so much last week that I was having a hard time listening to stuff at work because I'd have to take my earbuds out so I didn't get wet.
Yeah, we're getting more of that tonight.
Yeah, as long as it rains at night, I don't care. The fuck even was that?
I don't know.
What were you watching?
I have no idea. Something on the face page.
Or was that the thing that Amy shared? That
who knows?
Very inappropriate item.
I'm trying to see what the weather's going to do to later.
Do to later?
Man, my backyard can't take any more of it.
Well, you'll gain a new alligator if it keeps it up. You'll get your alligator back.
You'll trade all your
it'll just like
trade all your turtles and fish for new ones.
Yeah, we're trying to get rid of a snake right now.
Just a snake?
Yeah, it's in the pond, swimming around.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to go away.
Whatever's coming down from Lake Raven.
Yep.
Are you still checking the weather?
Yep.
My God, that's slow. Either way,
We're gonna have a lot. We're gonna have a little bit.
Guys, let us know what your weather was like whenever we made this episode on the 16th of June. How was your weather? I mean, it's rainy off and on, which kind of sucks, but like all last week sucked dick. Like not only did the rain suck, but every single day at work was fucking clusterfuck. Every single day. I'm just like, what is fucking happening? Also, why I muted the fucking tab? Why did that come across?
Wasn't me.
Oh.
No, that was Shaun. The tab is muted. Why did we hear that? That doesn't even make sense. Like, literally, like, because you could just do the thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Stupid Facebook. That was Shaun just giving me a thumbs up when I replied to him. Either way, I watched the Micro thing because I needed to feel good about something because fucking so much misery and chaos this fucking weekend.
Right.
I mean, the heat alone has been kicking my ass. Like, I know I was super dehydrated because I got very drunk very fast on... Facebook isn't open.
You bastard.
Oh, there were 2 fucking windows open. I didn't even see it. No wonder. I was like, why is this working? Hold on. I was like, why is it still going? Okay, hold on. What did it say? They shot her up with some stuff to take the pressure off her brain, help her headache, and she starts being more aware of herself. And talking. Yeah, I mean, intracranial pressure will do that.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a friend of mine in high school. Had a tumor on the brainstem.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. I was sitting here like, I'm going crazy. I was like, how is this one Facebook page that's muted making noise? Oh, it's not that one. It's the other one that I couldn't see. Well, one, I don't have my glasses on, and that icon is really small. So either way, but the episode from last week where we talked about men's health is literally only just got uploaded right before you guys got here.
Right.
because I was editing and it took over an hour to export that whole thing because I went through and I added all those slides that we were talking about, all the inspirational stuff. And then I had to find where Shaun had his message later in the show. And then I had to add the new image for Shaun, for the voice of Shaun, which is now the very special needs looking little girl that looks like him as a baby. So that I replaced the retarded cat with that girl, at least for this episode, which caused all kinds of weird editing fails. I don't even know what happened there. I was like, I just moved this one thing literally 2 frames and it just disappears. And I'm like, slide it back. Like, I don't understand what's happening. So I gave up fighting it. Editor problems. So stupid. So stupid, but either way, yeah. So briefly before we get into basically catching up with Chad, because we missed him last week, and we want to cover a lot of the same subject because we are still doing men's awareness or mental health awareness, because apparently there was a large lack of mental health this weekend across the nation for another fucking set of protests right on top of the ICE protests from the weekend before. That was chaos. They did the No Kings
I guess
protest.
I didn't quite understand what that was all about anyways.
It's basically they think that Trump is trying to establish himself as a king, so it was just a very large anti-Trump protest across the nation, organized by the heiress of Walmart, paid for and organized by her. So very weird.
Okay.
Don't know why. But we had one here in town that was roughly, I think they said about 1,300 people
Weren't
downtown.
the counter protesters in greater numbers?
I don't
Conroe?
I don't even
There
know
was
if
a
they're...
huge contingent of counter protesters.
I didn't see any counter protesters. I mean, they were only out there for the short amount of time there was good weather. I saw a few videos where basically they took over downtown, but they didn't do anything crazy. The traffic was only a problem due to the parking. Basically, a whole lot of people downtown taking up all the parking spots. The only reason why they did it. But, I mean, it was a permitted protest, whatever. You can protest. But I did notice there was not a lot of people of any other color out there protesting.
Just a bunch of angry white people.
There's a lot of angry white people. A lot of old angry white people I saw, too. I mean, you can be pissed about what you like, but I found it funny that they decided to tell us that there would be no king here in the United States where we don't have one.
Nope, we don't.
I think they think that we see Trump as a king. Do you? I don't.
No, we have a democratic republic.
Yeah.
You know, our forefathers weren't the smartest of individuals. They knew what they were creating was going to be flawed, but they left room and a way to change it for the good.
Yeah. Well, actually, they were a lot smarter than us in a lot of ways. They just hadn't gone through 200 years of history yet to look back upon. But they basically took the 3 different ways of governance that currently existed and put them all together and made them balance each other out.
Yeah.
So, Council of Elders, a king, and the populace going in and yelling on their own. So that's how we get Congress. That's how we get, well, I forgot about the judges. Council of Elders as judges, and then the king. You have all of them together. They technically all balance each other out. They all have their specific shit they do. And in theory, they're all there to check each other. And they're thinking, I guess, because Trump exists, he's a king. I have no idea. I don't understand the argument. Because I never heard an actual real argument. It's like, well, he's authoritarian and doing all these other things. It's like,
Heaven forbid he enforced the laws that are already on the books.
no, it's unconstitutional. To do that.
Unconstitutional to enforce laws.
I mean, laws are there to be enforced, but only by the people that we want to enforce them.
Right.
I think that's literally how they look at it. Because at least from what I could see, obviously the ICE situation, the mass deportations they're doing, that's a big deal. Because it's never really been done. I mean, mind you, Obama was literally the deporter in chief. He deported like a million some odd people. Trump has only managed to actually deport something like 120,000, give or take. Actually, might be a little bit more.
That's
than
about to ramp up.
But they're ramping it up because now they are casting a wide net, but they are going after very specific people that they know are specific offenders.
He just stated today that it's going to be focusing attention on basically sanctuary cities.
Yes.
And he's shooting for 3,000 deportations in each city a day.
Yeah. So 3,000 a day is the only way to manage the numbers that they want. 30,000 a day would actually make a dent.
Yeah.
3,000 a day across the country per city, that's going to empty things out really fast.
Yeah.
Now, he did go back on things a little bit because we realized, oh, yeah, the farmers won't have anybody to work the fields as slave labor. Whoops. Could see it coming.
You were hoping.
I could see it coming. I could see it coming. So, I mean, like, it's a good point that the Democrats yell out loud that, hey, you're getting rid of our slave labor. It's like, I mean, yeah, but also, why are you insisting on having slave labor? People that you pay for less money off the books illegally, and you argue to keep them because you don't want to pay other people more money.
For real, we've got a massive 25 and 30-somethings that are sitting at home doing absolutely nothing, still living with their parents.
We have people older than that who don't have real jobs.
Exactly.
They still work at Starbucks and bitch about a black shirt.
They go out, get some exercise.
Yeah, but it's just the idea that it's a reframing of the way we've lived for probably the last 40 years, maybe a little bit longer, that we got corporations basically funneling people in illegally, doing whatever they got to do so they can pay them less. But then you got what has become literally a slave class, like working fields, working restaurants, working Home Depot. They're talking about the Home Depot raid started the whole thing in LA. It's like, first of all, that was a lie. That didn't actually happen. And they said that it happened, then the riots started, then everything went crazy. It was like, hey, how about that? Either way, setting shit on fire in the streets is not really a way to get your message across. Flying a foreign flag on top of a burning fucking car and talking about how much you hate America, and that's why
it doesn't help your case and your thing wanting to be in America, yet you're burning the flag and waving your own flag. I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't help you at all. So.
Yeah, I agree. And Trump wanting to put people in jail for burning a flag is like, technically speaking, if you burn a flag that isn't yours, that's technically illegal because it's destruction of someone else's property. You can burn your own flag.
Yeah.
So as long as you paid for that flag you're burning.
Yeah, keep your receipts.
Keep your receipts. Well, there's no CVS's or Walgreens or anything in LA anymore, so they don't have receipts anymore. If you had your CVS receipt, you'd be able to see from a distance that you bought that flag. I don't even know where you buy a flag anymore other than Amazon. And there's something weirdly ironic about that.
No, I know where to get them, but...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I can order them.
Flags.com?
Pretty much.
Okay. Actually, I think that is yeah. Dude, we need an actual, like, Nimea flag to fly outside to be funny.
Yeah, I can get it made.
Yeah. But either way, so the No Kings thing, luckily we had no violence or stupidity here in town. Just an annoying afternoon. Apparently Houston had like 15 or 16,000 people. So that, I think, got a little out of hand. A couple of arrests, things like that. Hey, guys. Through this area, I'm actually discussing a shooting that happened in Denver during the No Kings protest. What happened is that some of the peacekeepers, big P peacekeepers, ended up shooting at a gentleman who was legally carrying a rifle and ended up mortally wounding and killing an innocent person. And then the guy with the rifle that they were shooting at was actually wrongfully arrested by police. That's actually what I was trying to say here, and I screwed it up. So I'm actually doing this voiceover through here, and then we'll continue on after the fact. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, yeah, dipshits should probably not have guns, but...
Once again, conceal. Don't open carry.
It is Washington.
No one needs to no one needs to know what you got on you. Hide your shit.
Well, it was not a small gun.
Oh.
It was a fun gun.
Okay.
Larger caliber.
But still.
Yeah, long barrel. Either way. But no, the fact that somebody died and they were on the same side, they actually shot someone who was there on their side because they're stupid. Idiots. But the fact that they have quote unquote, because on the news this morning I was watching, they kept saying peacekeepers. I'm like, do they mean a cop? And I'm like, why do they keep saying peacekeeper? Because if it was a police officer, they would say that, right? But they kept saying it as though like big P, peacekeeper. And then I found out later watching another thing, it's like, oh, they're referring to like private, almost like their own little militia for themselves. And I was like, oh, it's fine when those guys call themselves peacekeepers. But if you got somebody called oath keepers on the other side, those guys all have to get arrested.
Do
Weird.
as we say, not as we do.
Yeah. Not that I The Oath Keepers were not always that bad. Usually it's when they get into fights with Antifa is the problem. Them and the Proud Boys. It's like Proud Boys only really existed to beat the shit out of Antifa. It's like they didn't actually do much on their own. They just would get into fight. They basically were the counter protesters to Antifa people.
That'd be a fun day.
Yeah. So I did find it ironic that the only people who seem to think that Trump is a king are the people protesting Trump being a king. Like, at least speaking for myself, I was like, I don't see him as a king. I see him as a dude who's got a hell of a fucking job to do, and everyone who said they were on his team are now deciding they're not on his team. And then at the same time, we've got World War III kicking off.
Was there any validity that J.D. Vance just up and left?
Left what?
Like the vice presidency?
No.
Okay.
I don't know where you heard that.
I saw that somewhere.
Just Vance just suddenly quit being a vice president?
Yeah.
I mean, I watched his Theo Vaughn interview from a couple weekends ago. He's perfectly happy being VP.
And I guess it was just like The Onion or some stupid.
Oh, never
satire.
listen to The Onion. They're bullshit. Unless it was Babylon
I
Bee.
just saw it in passing. I didn't stop and.
If it was The Bee, then sure. It's not real.
Yeah.
Well, in theory, it's not real. Give it 2 weeks. Like any Babylon Bee article is just 2 weeks from being reality, right? But World War III kicking off between Israel and Iran. That's fun. Because they're basically both blowing up each other's nuclear shit.
Well,
Great.
if we had gotten out of Israel's way 15, 20 years ago, none of this would be happening.
Well, there might not be in Israel.
Or there might not be anyone screwing with them.
Well, that part's true.
Because they basically had multiple groups going, hey, our only purpose in life is to destroy Israel.
Yeah, they do that.
And we were telling them, don't do anything, don't react, don't attack. Screw that. If you got a neighbor sitting right beside you and they say, Shoki, our only mission in life is to see you dead.
Why has it always got to be about me? Why does everybody need me dead?
You would be defending yourself. You would be attacking in advance to stop that from happening.
No, wrong button. But yeah, no, I understand the sentiment. I don't understand why it's 100% our problem or fault.
Exactly.
Well, actually, I understand why.
I don't know why we're getting in the way anyway. Just
I know
let
why
them do the thing.
Well, I mean, it is all our fault. Well, us, the UK, and everyone else who established the state of Israel back in 1948 or whatever it was.
I'm just waiting on another batch of radios or cell phones or anything to blow up again.
The hard part is that Iran didn't buy any of that shit.
Right.
But, they did. But now we got Pakistan and everybody else fucking standing up saying, hey, we'll go against Israel too. It's like, aren't you busy fighting India? It's like, don't you got your own bullshit to do? But you know what's funny is it's really hard because, especially because I follow Habitual Line Crosser. He just is all on Twitter now that he's out of the army. And these fucking assholes from either Pakistan or Iran posting stuff about, we took down this thing. Like they said, they shot down an F-35, like the first F-35 ever shot down. There's no proof of it, but idiots keep posting fucking AI pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, what the fuck? So we had Ukraine supposedly blowing up nuclear bombers from Russia against treaties. They went and did, while they were in the middle of supposedly doing peace talks. They blew up Russia's bombers, which I did not know this. Your nuclear bombers have to be stored outside because of treaties. Like, we have to know where your fucking nuclear bombers are at any given point. Because if we see that there's one missing from your airfield, we're going looking for it, and it ain't going to be in the air long. So apparently that's the thing. So our bombers that aren't in the air, everyone's bombers who basically aren't flying, are all kept because basically there's satellites over them constantly.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's images effectively of blowing up those planes on the ground, and some idiot kept talking about submarines. I was like, I don't know how many submarines are kept in landlocked part of an airport, but whatever. Unless they're dropping the nuclear subs out of the fucking thing. Wouldn't that be some shit?
One giant torpedo.
Yeah, literally you just drop a fucking nuclear sub and then it launches once it gets close. Now, the subs are the hard ones to track, but we know where most of them are. Usually our subs are trailing their subs, and then China's pretending that they're following us, but we know they're there with another sub that's behind them. So, it's like we're good at the sub game. But no, it's just the world is on fire, and everybody seems to think it's Trump's fault somehow. It was like, I feel like it was on fire before Trump got in there, and then you claimed it was his fault. I don't get that.
That was pretty bad. I think the 4 years of weak leadership, weak negotiations with the United States led to this.
What? No, Joe Biden was the best and
course.
best president ever. Most cognizant.
Yeah.
Strongest man ever.
Healthiest,
Super healthy.
You mean the clone?
multi-eared.
Well, they weren't clones. They're just live model decoys. I don't know which one we're on now. Actually, there hasn't been any updates I've seen from his health
That's
scare.
cancer, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just going to fade away.
I'm kind of on the agreement that he might have already died, and they're literally pushing around a fake Biden, and they're just putting out the stories that are true, but they're like 8 months behind. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I don't really technically wish ill will on him, but it would be nice to know the truth at any given point.
We're not allowed to know the truth.
So they pulled a Dave in real life.
Yeah, pretty much. Fucking A. So other than that, you guys got any World War II, World War III stories going on right now in your lives? No?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, you've just been working because it's all you ever do. No, you fix your car.
I fixed my car.
Technically.
Tomorrow afternoon, I'm probably going to go for a lumber run. And Wednesday morning, I'll start working on the bunk for my little camper conversion.
Yeah.
He's going to get wood.
Get wood. Lots of wood.
He's going to erect something in the back of his van.
Yeah.
He's going to spend all day erecting some wood in his van.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I'll take a nap.
Yep, pretty much.
You're a handy man.
Yep.
So, sex with 3 people is called a what?
Threesome.
And sex with 2 people is called a twosome.
I guess it's a twosome.
And that's why they call you handsome, right?
No. So we call me lonesome. Yeah, that's the better joke. Handsome.
Handsome, yes.
So, but that is funny. I am good looking. Thank you. No, but so you fixed your thing.
Yeah, it's back on.
Yeah.
Well, not yet. The previous owner completely stripped and destroyed every bit of the shroud.
Yeah, but I mean, it's drivable again.
It's drivable.
For the
I
first
don't
time in
have the
months.
airbag in it at the moment.
Yeah,
Because
airbag.
that is. Have you ever pulled a VW airbag?
No, I don't pull
You
a
got
lot
to
of
turn the
VW
wheel at a
anythings.
90. There's a small access hole, and you have to stick a small flat blade screwdriver in there, dig around to release a little trigger that pops and releases the spring. Took me about 45 minutes to get both of them popped out.
Mine's just 2 bolts that are slightly annoying to get out, but
Well, putting it back in's easy. Push, done.
that's dumb. I don't
So
like that.
I'm waiting to get the new upper and lower shroud. And once that's installed and all the bolts, screws are in there properly and nothing's ripped out, then I'll get the airbag installed.
Okay.
I'm just waiting on. So I'm driving around with just an open column at the moment.
No, there's like a race car.
Well, except on the outside.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
It got muddy.
Yeah.
Everything got muddy. It's like, there's no way to not be muddy right
I
now.
definitely need fender flares.
That's pretty true. I mean, I had to do some extra stuff to my car the other day, just little things, and it's like, why the fuck do I still smell coolant? It's like, what the fuck is going on? Oh, by the way, I don't think I ever talked about the fact that you bailed me out that one day by grabbing me a fucking radiator cap, which solved one problem I had.
One problem.
Yeah. But
I wasn't pressuring up.
no, it was I was wondering why I was overheating, and then when I popped the cap off to make sure I had coolant, it was sitting on top, so thought it was good. Then I didn't tighten it down all the way.
Oh, so you lost it.
I lost some,
Okay.
not that much, but when I filled it, topped it back off again, I thought I was good. A week later, I go to check under the hood again. I was like, why the hell is my shit? So I wanted to make sure I still had coolant. I got my bottle out and everything. I opened the cap. It's fucking empty. But one thing I noticed is as I was unscrewing the cap, the center part of it was not moving. It was staying still. It was not turning with everything else. So basically the safety relief thing had completely given out.
Yeah.
I don't even know how old that cap was, so I never replaced
Yeah,
it.
he called me. I went and got a $6 cap. And
Yeah.
Yeah, he saved like
Yeah. $6
$40.
to help you.
Yeah.
for way cheaper, or $1 cheaper than it would have been
Yeah,
factory.
it was a $7 cap. What do you do?
Yeah.
You're like, I got a $6 cap. You save way cheaper. I mean, it's approximately.
I don't know. Commercial accounts are fun. I like getting shit cheaper.
Indeed, but yeah, I forgot about that. But I think I need to add a little bit more coolant or fix my fan or something. It's not overheating, but it's creeping up above 205.
Yeah, I got a weird little something in my van I can't find anywhere. It's a coolant leak somewhere that when it gets up to temperature, it's probably hitting on the header.
Ah,
And I can see at night when I stop sometimes a little bit of mist coming out in the headlights, but I can't find that leak for anything.
You got a little pinhole leak somewhere,
Somewhere.
probably.
So about every 2 weeks I add coolant and then it runs.
Well, that's a good thing, I guess.
It's either that or it's the thermostat that needs replacing.
Oh shit! Shaun sent a message for me.
Yay!
I didn't expect him to, but Shaun did send a message. Hold on, I can pull that up. Chad,
Yes.
you haven't been here in a week.
Nope.
What's been going on, buddy? Fill us in on the last couple of weeks.
No.
Yeah. I can't quite do that completely. But,
He's been working.
I mean, have you been watching anything? How's work? How's
Episode 5 of Murderbot.
Murderbot. I've been watching the new series of Stick on Apple. I've actually.
what stick?
It's a Owen Wilson. It's a golf.
I've been
series.
thinking about
It
getting into
is
that.
very good. Actually, we watched the first season of Iron Fist. I know that's like very long ago and everything. We got into it. I actually like it. It's enjoyable.
So if not for the current situation, I would say do the Iron Fist drinking game, and every time he says the hand or rand, you got to take a shot.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Because
he
of the way they
says
do it.
he says rand, and the way he says it is so fucking annoying. Rand.
Rand.
Like just and it gets better. Like I think season 2 got better, and he was a bit better in Defenders, but that first season was rough.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like, he was always like a whiny little. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
just chill.
Yeah,
yeah.
he never gets chill.
No.
Well, at least in the first season. I don't know.
I don't know.
He was always spastic.
I'm irritated with Murderbot. They don't give you enough.
Yeah, no, it's like only 25 minutes.
It's just a little teaser.
Yes.
And then they leave you hanging.
Yes.
It's so fucking irritating. It's getting good.
So he's like cucking you a little bit. Possibly the wrong word.
What the fuck, dude?
I don't know. I mean, your man's over there sitting there leaving you a little short, leaving you with a little chub.
You're just
Not-
waiting on the next.
Yeah.
Because
It's almost like building suspense for the story. Isn't that weird?
well, it's still not enough. You're like, I want more.
Would it be better if it was an hour-long series
Yes.
instead of
Yes,
30
it would
minute? Okay. Okay.
Because it feels like it's kind of like Vox Machina. It says it's 22 minutes, but you get like 17 minutes of episode because the intro and outro are so long.
Dude,
I agree.
We've been binging Big Bang Theory. Some of those episodes are only 19 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, how the hell did I plow through 17 episodes in one afternoon? And then I was like, oh, I'm literally watching 3 an hour.
Yeah, those are
was
fun.
like, what
those
the
are
hell?
fun just to leave on in the background.
That's kind of what I was doing,
Yeah.
but there's still shit I've never seen. Go ahead.
So was it like 5 episodes so far?
6.
6? So yeah, I mean, you're really.
And there's probably only 2 more left.
Yeah, if not for other things, like this week, like I said, work was really fucked up. So all my days were wonky, which is why the new episode wasn't live yet, because I didn't have any time to really edit with everything else going on. Because I was getting home at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon instead of 11. It's like, that's a huge difference in what I can get done with my day, because Jessica gets home at 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Got to do dinner, got to go to men's group, got to do something. You know, it's like almost every night has something going on. And then like I missed, like my whole last week was so fucked up. I didn't get Patreon or my normal Friday live stream because Friday night the storm was so bad. I was like, I'm not gonna try to stream. This shit is
Yeah, you're gonna do it, and power's gonna go off. You're gonna lose it.
yeah. Because like that's the way I looked at it. I was like, but I never. And then Saturday was busy and Sunday was busy, so didn't have time to do a makeup stream. So I'm gonna owe them. But it's just like, because I almost got it. I almost went ahead and signed back up for Apple to watch Murderbot and like Found the Youth and a
He
couple other things.
told you a workaround. You just won't do it.
I know, but it's like I could sign up for like 2 fucking months and probably get caught up on everything.
Yeah.
And then just in time for something else to fucking start up. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact I'm watching Big Bang Theory on HBO, I'd probably cancel that until the next big series comes out.
I know the new Apple movie F1 with Brad.
I wanna see
I
that.
want to see the.
See, I'm irritated.
Boy.
I want to watch The Office again, but I have to get Peacock.
Yeah, it's on Peacock.
Yeah, I got that. I turned it off.
Isn't it weird that they locked that down finally
Hard.
after all
And that
these
and
years?
Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, so NBC decided to take back their series after them being on
But you
every
can
other
still
streaming
get the
service.
BBC, The Office. The British version of The Office.
That's weird. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Because it's a completely different fucking network. It's weird.
And I've tried getting into it, and it's not great.
I got to check with my VPN and see if I can still watch them on Netflix or not.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, because the only way I can do it on the phone or the thing.
Yeah.
I can't do it on the TV, unfortunately. What did I? There was something I started watching and I forgot what it was.
Speaking of VPN, have you found a way to watch the Aussie Top Gear?
No,
Me either.
because it's supposed to be available on our Paramount, and
But it's locked down.
It never was. And like it never made it to U.S. Paramount. I don't know why.
Even utilizing a VPN.
Yeah, couldn't do it. That I could tell. That's like trying to watch Shoresy because you can't even with a VPN you can't watch Crave here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Which is where Shoresy is.
So you got to wait for Hulu to pop it.
Yep, exactly. Wait, what is that? Oh, so we never talked about the new Predator series.
No, we did.
The animated one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks badass.
Okay, so we both watched it.
Killer of Killers.
Killer of Killers. So we both watched it last week, but because we focus entirely on men's health stuff, that
We didn't get
a chance to talk
holy
about it.
crap. Oh my gosh.
It was great.
Okay.
It was really good. I
'Cause
mean,
my son wants to watch it with me, so
It focuses on
he saw the previews of it. He's like, oh,
yeah,
three individuals from three different eras.
yeah.
And they're the ones that have successfully killed the Predator.
okay.
And then they're captured.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
They get captured at the end of each.
Yeah.
Episode.
Yeah, because they want to be like studied, I guess. Or
No.
see how-
No. We're not going to tell you why
Okay.
they're capturing
But
them,
holy
but they're
cow, it's
capturing them.
good.
Okay.
So the funny part is that it's a side of the Predator universe we haven't technically seen before, but also this is now set in the current Predator timeline. Now, we know that the Aliens and Predator timelines are kind of separate because Aliens is far more Weyland-Yutani, that shit.
Yeah.
Then AVP is sort of its own timeline, doesn't really play into the mainstream stuff.
This is the Predator coming down randomly to challenge a warrior.
Well, they're hunting.
Yeah.
They're just hunting. That's what they do.
Which was your favorite?
Samurai.
Yeah, Shield Maiden for me.
Yeah, of course. No shit. No shit. The Viking one was Heffy's favorite. No, but the cool thing about it is, even though they did it animated, it's actually canon to the movie that's coming. So, what is it called? The Outlands or whatever it's called. The movie that's coming.
Badlands.
Badlands.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. So it's actually canon to Badlands and Prey.
Yeah.
So that's the cool part.
I need to
about
get through the rest of Prey.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, so I need to do that.
Prey is watch Prey first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Watch it before you watch the animated one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a sequel to Prey.
Okay.
Well, it's all
It's all
in the
intertwined.
mix. But it is intertwined. So that's the cool part about it. And then technically speaking, if you want to go there, it is all intertwined to the Predator only series.
They actually reference Prey in Killer of Killers. I think they did.
Do you know why I'm staring at you?
Because you're...
trying to tell you the hush.
Shut up.
Yes. Shut up. He hasn't seen it. Spoilers, you fucktard.
Whatever.
The funny part is, so Shaun was watching it on his lunch break because
It's not my fault he's behind.
Yeah. So Shaun was watching it on his lunch break and he was sending me messages about it, and then like I literally spoiled the ending for him, but he was only like 3 minutes from the ending, and like he didn't realize what I had said because he forgot the name of the character that I was talking about, and then he saw it and then he's like, "Oh, okay." So either way, but no, it's actually really good, and like it really builds out the Predator lore and stuff like that, and adds some weird shit that we're like, about that. But also we see their spaceships far more than we ever have, which is pretty cool. The Viking one is a lot of fun. The Japanese one, the one with the ninjas versus samurai is really cool.
The storyline with that was the good part of the samurai one.
Well, the samurai one was interesting because for the first 20 minutes of it, there's not a single word spoken.
Yeah.
At all. Everything is through like grunts and looks. Like they just don't say anything to each other. You just entirely all story on the screen.
So that's one way to make a movie.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
But yeah, the interplay and conflict between the two characters was really good.
Yeah, that was great. And then by the end of it, like the actual, like they do the anime tropes, which is fun.
Yeah.
Like it's like, even though it's not an anime, they do the anime tropes. But the fact that each one ends, because it is technically one movie, just in 3 parts. Each one ends tying into the next one with a teaser, and you're like, wait, what? What the fuck is going on? But yeah, I think the Viking one was probably the most absurd. Like just in general, like everything that happened with that one was the most absurd. Like what the fuck? And then the rest of them are like, okay, I understand this. And then by the time they get to the World War II one, and then, what, 1940,
42,
43? No, because there was Pacific Theater, so that would have been 40.
Well, one.
Oh yeah, it would probably 44.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. But the only part that didn't make sense about that one was why that Predator was doing what he was doing. Like, it made no sense because...
Yeah, he just dropped in on a conflict just to see what happens.
Yeah, but then what he was doing within that conflict made no sense for his quote-unquote hunt.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're trying to collect trophies, why are you doing the thing you're currently doing?
Yeah, well, why not go for the best one instead of some new boot?
They were going for all of them.
Yeah.
It made it's like that one just seemed like he wanted to go to war. But also, we get to see completely different types of Predator. Each one is incredibly different from the next. Like, the first one is like literally like a giant. Like, because Vikings, they call them a Grendel. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.
It's more their evolution, and as time moves on, they get more compact, more athletic.
Or it's just different subspecies.
Yeah.
Because we know that happens. So it's pretty neat. Definitely worth a watch. And then, of course, the new movie is coming out eventually. I forget when they said it was dropping, but excited about that.
I'm excited next month on the 2nd or 3rd.
Second is
or 4th. Yeah, that's dropping. I'm going to go see that.
Well, we are going to go see that.
Good.
We just have to determine what day we're going to go see that.
It will be a Thursday.
Okay.
I have spoken.
Hey, it'll have to be a Thursday afternoon after I get off work.
Yeah.
So we can do that. Sorry, I'm getting a buttload of shipping notifications. So my sway bar finally got shipped.
Yay.
And my micro whiskey got shipped.
Yay, let's sway.
Indeed. I definitely need less sway. It gets a little bit wonky.
I'm about to get more. I'm going to have to go to the air shocks in the rear to get rid of the squat.
Yeah.
And
Squat.
I only need to go up a couple inches. But it's still, headlights are shining at people. Fortunately, I haven't.
You're literally jet-hearted.
I haven't changed over to the LED, so I'm not blinding the hell out of everybody. They're the factory headlights, so they're dim as hell.
Was that the German squat?
Yeah. Scheiße.
But with your wider than normal wheels, it looks like a fucking bullfrog.
Yeah, I like it.
It's like, oh, I did see a lot more of, even though I cut it out of the main episode. By the way, I cut out all that Touaregs talk out of that episode, saved legit like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But no, I did see a lot more of them confirmed. It is the Touareg SE R trim, but the really good ones are the black version. So I did confirm that because I've seen them around. I'm like, okay, it's not nearly as rare as like a Type R Golf. But it's still very cool looking. They are turbo and all that other stuff. But I was like, man, if I had the money just to be able to drop for that, what?
No, you're talking about cars and stuff. I'll add here in a second.
Oh, no, you can go ahead. I'm just saying, like, if I had the money for it, I would buy one because I think they look good. They look like an evolved Jetta wagon, but they don't look quite as silly as yours. Because it's meant to be sitting at the height
I'm
it's at.
going for full silly,
Yeah.
I know.
which I enjoy.
Fusilli?
Fusilli.
Yes. Fusilli Jerry.
It's a good pasta.
Either way, sorry. Seinfeld reference.
Or you saying new
No,
cars?
yesterday
Yes.
when we went to do our little bit of a little shopping in the morning and everything for get set for Father's Day over at my parents.
Yeah.
We went to Conroe. Of course, we stayed away from everything else. But getting on the freeway right at New Waverly, and I saw the car come over, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I literally sped up and everything. It is my favorite car, my ultimate, which I could have it, my dream car, is a Viper GTS.
Nice.
Silver.
Old school.
Silver, black stripes.
Yeah.
I was behind it, and then I wasn't.
Yeah.
And
So-
that son of a bitch, it just downshifted and whoom! And I was like, there it goes.
So I'll get you on that because I was followed by a silver Viper on my way home Friday or Saturday. So it was the last generation Viper, not the early ones.
Okay.
But I've seen a lot of ACRs and stuff like that
Yes.
running around, but I haven't seen just a standard Viper in so long.
Yeah.
I was like, we see supercars all the fucking time around here. We're like 5 seconds from the Woodlands where everybody's got money, and there's always supercar meets to the west.
Yeah.
So like we're always seeing McLarens, Ferraris, Lambos all the time, to the point that the Vipers have become rare.
Yes, yeah. But
And they're more special in that way, even though they're technically crappier cars. They might be really fast, but even the fastest
But they
one,
look good.
yeah.
well, they look cool.
Yeah.
I don't know about good.
They're actually really small and everything, too, compared to certain other ones and everything, too.
The original Vipers, the first gen Viper, is literally roughly the same size as a Miata.
yeah, the 94.
Just wider.
Whatever,
Yeah.
95.
Yeah. the original SUVs.
I did a little bit of car shopping. I'm pricing a new work rig.
Uh-oh.
And
Didn't you just spend money to make your current rig?
well, it's got 300,000 miles on it. It's gonna die here in the next year.
Well, it's a good thing you're spending lots of money on it.
Well, everything is transferable.
Okay. Get that rooftop umbrella while you're at it.
Yeah, on the big one, I will.
Sorry, I watched that clip again. And
On the big one, I shall. But anyway, the price stood about 38 secondhand with about 40,000 miles on
Wait,
it.
what is it? You didn't even say.
Mercedes 170-inch wheelbase, high top window.
Diesel.
Yeah, the big diesel. And that I'm essentially going to convert into a mobile office. That'll be my work platform. It'll do, working back only, and then my whatever daily driver. So, yeah, it should last a good 10 years or so.
Maybe. But unfortunately, it's a Mercedes.
And parts are readily available. They've got a new plant they're keeping parts on hand. They're relatively easy to work on, except for the computers.
Just keep buying German things. It's fine.
Well, it's a Mercedes, but it's got the Cummins motor in it. So
Is it a Cummins?
It's a Mercedes
Okay.
Blue Diesel, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's not a Cummins.
no, it's just
Yeah. Because Dodge decided that Cummins wasn't good enough for them anymore or whatever
Right.
the fuck happened, and they went over to Nissan. Which is not a terrible idea, but it is kind of funny that those bigger Nissan trucks started to look like Dodge Rams right about the time that Cummins switched over to them.
I'm waiting on Toyota to come out with their 1-ton because they were talking about the
Yeah.
8-liter Hino
yep.
power in those things.
So-
So that'd be a little beast.
So I did see another post the other day. So going the opposite direction of your current conversation, I did see a post the other day confirming that we can buy key trucks here now.
Yeah. I also
Legally,
saw
we can buy the tiny Japanese trucks now.
I also saw the Hiluxes coming to America.
Seriously.
Seriously.
Yes, offered in a standard with a, I think it's a 2.8 liter turbo diesel.
Is it the little work truck that the
It's also offered in a single cab or a 4-door.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, is it the work truck Hilux one that was like 15 grand?
No, it's the proper Toyota Hilux.
Well, what I'm getting at is that's the one that Nick was throwing a fit over because he really wants it.
Yeah, that was a 10 grand Toyota.
Yeah.
A little utility platform.
Yeah, because that's what he wants.
Yeah.
Because he wants to be able to mount a.
But
Yeah,
they're
50 cal in
coming.
the back. 20
It's
mil in
going to
the
be
back.
one of the few offered in a 6-speed standard.
Nice.
6-speed
Yeah.
in a truck. It's odd.
Yeah.
It's a little much.
Is
But
what it is.
well, like the fact that we can now buy because I see them all the time. I see the Hondas, I see the Daihatsus all running around
Well,
town
that's
right
only
now.
happening because Trump deregulated a lot of the EPA emissions for diesels.
Yeah, but it doesn't even come down to the EPA bullshit. Well, we know at least what happened with the Hilux and those trucks from Europe because we could have got them from Europe by way of Japan.
Yeah.
But the chicken tax fucked all that up, and that's from a long, long time ago, like really long time ago. They're still going off that, so the change in the tariffs would actually basically mean those trucks can come here.
I want the Ute.
We all want
You want
Utes.
the Waloo.
Malu,
Yeah.
and they changed the name.
All
of
the
it.
Australian ones.
Sorry,
the way
Waloo
the
was a
GM
beer.
puts it, yeah.
Yeah,
One of my favorites.
I mean, we should have Utes here because, well, we almost invented them. Technically, Australia invented them, but we really made them popular with the El Camino and everything else that
Yeah.
followed. Yeah, we should instead of making everything electric, make everything Ute.
Well,
Mustang Utes.
Ram and Hemi, they're coming back now. They discontinued it, and now they're like,
So
we're coming back. with
they're bringing the
V8.
Hemi back.
Yes, 2026.
Thank God. Fucking morons. As long as they don't make them stupid,
No,
because they already ruined the Charger.
that's it.
Yep, that's the new U.S. Hilux.
Let me see.
And they look good.
Sweet. God, your phone is heavy.
I mean, those are just the Tacoma platform, in case you're wondering. By the way, the Hilux and the Tacoma are the same truck.
Yes, they are.
They're literally the same truck, but the trim levels are different because the
Yeah.
Hilux can be different. But the smaller work trucks, like I think one of the things was that foreign little tiny electric thing that was only supposed to be like $9 grand, supposedly is
No, that
coming
thing
here.
had a little 1.8 liter diesel.
No, they're full electric. What I'm talking about. The tiny little 2-door truck that's coming over here is supposed to be like all electric and everything else like that. It's supposed to be like tiny little affordable electric truck. Is like, okay, but can we get it with like a 2.5 turbo instead?
Yeah.
Like, get it with some actual power with gasoline and shit. That'd be great. But yeah, changing emissions laws and all that other nonsense. Basically, we should just abolish that kind of shit in the first place because that's why vehicles change the way they do. That's why trucks are getting bigger and
Right.
bigger and bigger. We discussed it here on the show. The way they're not getting around emissions. They only have they make the truck bigger to fit the emissions instead of making the truck better for the environment.
I see why we
I see.
good grief, I have no idea where my brain went.
We don't either.
You mentioned wanting the Ute.
Yes.
That Malu is a 510 horsepower friggin' light ass little pickup truck.
Yeah.
And it would be irresponsible to let all these U.S. rednecks get those little things.
Well, that's why you sell them with multiple engines.
Yeah.
Because you could get it in a V6 and everything else like that, moderate horsepower.
But they are so light and so overpowered in the top level that they're just squirrely.
Well, we don't like rear-wheel drive V8s. Other than the Mustang, Camaro, even the Camaro's getting away from V8s. Mustang's getting away from V8.
Mm-hmm.
Well, trying to. Except people keep demanding, V8s and shit.
They want their Coyote engine.
Yes, HSV Malu.
Yeah, the,
All right.
the HSV
Yeah,
is the badass one.
That thing's a
obviously.
beast and
Yeah,
looks
hold 'em
good. Looks
just
really
there.
good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can get them from
Man,
Europe, too.
that's-
They had them in
oh,
Europe, not just Australia, because they imported them over there.
Yeah, they imported the Holden Commodore and rebadged it as a GTO.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was a good little car.
Yeah, the G8 was kind of supposed to be
The G8
The
was.
G8 was a beast.
The G8,
The GXP.
GXP was
Yeah.
what then they canceled. They got rid of all that crap.
You know
and
what sucks? So we were literally a year away from the new El Camino.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the auto show that year in Houston, and they had one on display, like the prototype or whatever, and we didn't go look at it. Then they canceled it.
Was
literally,
it a chopped up Camaro or a proper El Camino?
No, it was the Malu with the G8 front end.
Fucking A. Yes.
That's really what it was. It's like that's what we were gonna get. It was literally that car, but with the Pontiac front end.
Yeah.
I don't think they were gonna technically call it an El Camino. They probably would have had to call it whatever the Pontiac version would be. The what was that? They did have a Pontiac version. What was it called? Back in the day, it wasn't just the El Camino. They had a Pontiac one,
They had the Ford, which was the Ranchero.
obviously. But I'm talking about the very specific car. Because there was a Pontiac version of it back in the day. It was a Spanish name, like Camino, but I forgot what it was. Not Pantera. It was something else, obviously.
Pantera's a different kind of
It's
car.
a very different type of car. It's a Lamborghini Light.
The El Catalina.
I think so. But either way, no. With the fact that
truck, or
because I know people who have imported them over here. I know lots of people have actually been importing the Holdens, or they're buying the Holden body kit.
El
Yeah.
Catalina, that was 100% right. It was a 59 prototype.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there was a Pontiac version. Either way, but no, I don't know what they were going to call the one that was coming in, But also, it would have been fun for that. We could have got a Cadillac CTSV version. Could you imagine that shit in the good-looking CTSV?
Yeah, I like the CTSV wagon. That's
yeah.
the one.
Oh, everybody loves the
God, the
CTSV.
Pontiac Catalina was gorgeous. That was
Yeah.
a great concept.
Yeah.
Had fins, all kinds of shit.
I know.
I'm
Yeah.
sad.
I brought it up.
That makes me sad.
It's like I'm the one who brought it up. I'm aware.
Yeah.
And a friggin' GTO front end.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, God,
Yeah. So
what's not to love?
So we would have had the modern version of that here in the U.S. because Chevy wasn't going to do it. But the problem is, the way I looked at it, anyways, they killed their two most profitable brands other than Cadillac. They killed off Saturn and Pontiac, but they kept Buick.
Yeah. Which I
Yeah,
understand.
What
Why?
the fuck? Why?
Yeah,
Yeah, Oldsmobile. They kept Buick. No, they got rid of Oldsmobile.
Oh, yeah.
Like 2 years later, they got rid of Oldsmobile. They kept the cheap ones, the expensive ones, and got rid of the ones that actually made money because everything Pontiac was selling over everything Chevy. We didn't really ever get that generation Firebird. Would have been cool though. Trans Am Firebird, but on that platform.
Yeah.
On the Camaro platform would have been badass. Would have outsold
I
it.
think it would have outsold the Camaro.
Dude,
Yeah.
it would have
Just
been
the looks and
aggressive. If
everything,
they
yeah.
would have kept that aggressive, rounded
Yeah.
styling and everything,
Well,
it
you
would
know-
have been
Have
awesome.
a WS6 version of
Yeah,
that.
100%.
That would have been better. Than,
WS6 Turbo.
Well, you know what? Well, you know what happened with the SSR trucks, right?
yeah.
You know that why they canned them as fast as they did?
Because they were ugly.
They were beautiful, but the problem is they had a truck that cost less than the Corvette and was faster than it. That's why they got rid of it, because it had the same V8 but geared differently.
That weighed less.
I don't know about weighed less. It was a heavy ass truck. It was a hardtop convertible truck. It was pretty heavy.
That you couldn't put anything.
But
in
it
the
had
trunk.
more power. But it had more power than the Corvette.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we can't have anything more powerful than the Corvette. And then later on, they made more things more powerful than the Corvette.
Well, you talk about that. The trucks, the Ram trucks, actually have more power than the cars.
Yeah.
I mean, the Challengers and Chargers, they're rated at 360, I think.
Yeah.
And the trucks are 390, 395.
Well, hell, look at Ford with the T-Rex.
Yeah.
That 714 horsepower massive truck that just flies 12 miles a gallon.
Ford did
has
T-Rex
Raptor.
for the Raptor.
No,
Ram has T-Rex.
Ram
Ram
did the
T-Rex.
T-Rex. There you go.
Yeah, but then you got to go get the Velociraptor. Wait, what is the Hennessy?
Hennessy's the
T-Rex?
Velociraptor. That's the twin turbo V6 with the high output fuel pump.
No, I'm talking about the Hennessy version of the T-Rex.
Ooh, I don't know. Tremor?
No, that's
that's-
Ford as well.
Okay.
You're getting your Fords and Dodges crossed.
I don't keep up with the new shit.
Well, the whole point was that they came up with the T-Rex to beat the Velociraptor. That's really what they did. The Dodge did, I should say.
And it hauls ass.
The Velociraptor, because the Raptor's going to be Ford.
Yes.
Did they do a V8 version of the Raptor with the 6.2?
To start off with, yes.
Okay. And then they went,
Yeah, they went to the 6 twin turbo and everything else like that.
yeah, those
Those are the current
they had to
ones.
redesign the fuel pump on those with a higher output impeller, and they're getting about 450 horse.
Oh, they call it the Mammoth.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So Hennessy Mammoth 1000 TRX.
Oh,
So 1,000 horsepower, quote unquote.
I make a Ranger Raptor.
The Ranger Raptor is awesome, and we can't buy them here yet.
does that have the six?
Yes, you can.
You can't. You have
I've
to
seen
special
it.
order them, right? Though.
Is
Yeah.
that the V6?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
No, it's the same. It's the same running gear as
Oh,
the
that's
regular
awesome.
Raptor, but in a Ranger.
in that little with the
Little-
SVT shocks and all that.
Yeah, it's like 450
So
horsepower.
yeah. So
That's insane.
Yeah.
So the
Yes,
standard T-Rex is 702 horsepower. So the Mammoth TRX is 1,000 horsepower because Hammond got one.
Oh no.
Yeah, Hammond got one for a year with Drive Tribe. Mm-hmm. So he got they're driving that 1,000 horsepower beast around the UK for a year.
Can't fit anywhere.
He's going from gas station to gas station.
Yeah, considering he lives in the middle of nowhere.
In
Right,
Wales,
here's the
yeah.
line.
Well-
Gas station.
Exactly. Sorry, Jordan was going off this morning about our good friend Jordan was going off about
World
World War III this morning.
I saw that, by the way.
and I commented back, and I was like, "Dude, they're not going to institute the regular draft. They're not. It's like because they can't train these kids fast enough. It's like what they'll try to do is get people to come back and re-enlist if possible,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll get a lot of private contractors. But that's one reason that they would probably just offer incident citizenship to anybody who'll sign up to go fight overseas, which we have done in the past. That's how a lot of people
Trust
got
me,
their
if
citizenship
I were in
in World
better
War
shape,
II.
I'd be working with a contractor company. But I'm not in better shape,
Yeah, it'd be real hard. It'd be real hard to fly you back from Israel every week.
for real.
Like Heffy calling in from the front lines. But yeah, no, I don't know why he suddenly panicked and be like, "You're the one who gave yourself a military haircut."
Before you look like a hippie. Yeah.
Well, yeah, specifically, it's like Elvis went to service technically
Yeah.
for what, a year? I think he did a year or two,
Yeah.
didn't he? Never saw combat, but he was in the service.
Yeah, he was doing a bunch of USO stuff, right?
No, he was enlisted.
actually enlisted.
He enlisted proper. He just didn't do anything because he was already famous.
Yeah.
You know, they're like,
It would
well,
allow him.
yeah, basically he was not allowed to go anywhere and do anything, but he had to be a part of the army. So it is what it is. That happens. But it'd be like, you know, all these people who want to go and who they fight for the rights of these other countries, except for Israel, they can all sign up. You know, instead of being over here protesting, why don't you, go do the thing? You're young and somewhat able-bodied, or will be when we're done with you. But it's a good thing, like, Habitual Line Crosser just got out. Like, literally just got out in his moving house because they lived on base for years. So now they're actually
Well, depending on how he got out, he has 10 years in the
medical
Ready Reserve.
discharge.
Okay.
Yeah. Because,
Because they have the IRR, Individual Ready Reserve.
sure, I don't
A lot of times when you get out honorably, they can call you back within 10 years.
Oh, yeah. But no, I think, like, I mean.
And a lot of it's for training cadre, stuff like that.
Yeah. By the way, since we're on that subject, happy birthday, Army.
Yep, 250.
Army 250, amazing setup in D.C. And watch the libtards freak out about it constantly for 2 fucking weeks. Like, they're rolling all these tanks into D.C. This is what a dictator looks like. It's like, it's the Army 250.
Yep.
They would have done this regardless of who the president was. They just might not have had it in D.C. if it was Biden or Kamala. Sorry.
Only difference is now they're loaded.
Yeah, right. But it's like it, and Unsub was there. They did a live show. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I'll put it to you this way. The Army really believes in unsub because they live stream those motherfuckers to the Army's YouTube. The Army's official YouTube channel had an unsub live. I was like, okay, you really, really believe in these guys. But so that was really cool about that. Also, happy birthday, President Trump. He's almost 80, I think, 79. So, you know, in the most stressful time that we've had as a presidency in a minute. So it is what it is.
He's working his ass off.
Trying to. At least he's not fighting with Elon anymore.
Yeah. Did they make up?
I think Elon literally kind of publicly said, I kind of got out of hand last week.
No shit.
Backtracked it a little. I don't think he ever said sorry, but they might have had a phone call where they stopped beefing at each other. But I think he still might have got some of his contracts canceled by Trump. We'll see what happens.
Publicity stunt?
I don't think so. I think there was legit beef. Well, actually, he can't be that mad now because a bunch of the Doge cuts got codified. Like Congress finally said, okay, cool, we're saving $9 billion here, $10 billion here, actually pushing it through as law to get rid of USAID and all that. So the work he did for Doge wasn't going anywhere. They just did the work and then nothing was happening with it. You still had to cut those funds from the budget. So that's what they were doing.
Okay.
So that was the whole big thing. That's one reason why he was pissed is because that quote unquote big beautiful bill was going to supposedly add another $2 or $3 trillion to the deficit over the next like 10 years. And
he was trying to cut it.
Yeah. But that was without considering any other adjustments we were making. So that's just the projected part ahead of time because they were getting a bunch of money to basically hire a buttload of people and finish the wall. You know, basically ICE would get an extra 8,000 people to help them, you know, either with the courts, you know, whatever, or processing, or just literally protecting the wall, and several billion to get the wall finished properly. But then on top of that, there is like budget extensions and all the other the stupid shit they don't need to do. But the problem is we can't get out of Social Security. We can't get out of all these other unfunded liabilities that have to go through every single time, and they don't go away. And we get more and more and more people on fucking Social Security every fucking year. Which, of course, that fund is only so big. And then you've got people draining the welfare state. Hopefully getting rid of illegals will take care of that.
That'll help a little bit.
It'll help a little bit, but you can only take that so far, right? You know, because you can only deport them so far. And not enough people are self-deporting to make that dent.
I still love the commercials.
I'm hearing them and seeing them
They
more
are
now.
cracking me up. Said if you don't, you will never come back.
Yeah. Basically, do it the right way, and you might be able to come back the right way. Mm-hmm. If you sneak back in and we catch you, you're banned for life.
We will find you, we will jail you, we will deport you, and you will never come back. I think is the quote from the ad.
Yeah, and like that's a hardline dad stance.
Yeah.
You know, literally grounding them. Like, no, you're not getting the car.
No.
I mean, it's a touchy subject, but it is still very important to do because we're the only real country on this entire fucking planet that is expected to have our doors open to everyone else's problems and not complain about it. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what you bring here.
Yeah.
And whether you are just a nice, hardworking person who wants a better life for you and your family.
We had to put up the sign that said, send me your tired masses, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And we don't need that. Well, actually, here's the thing. We got no problem with legal immigration. And that's the thing that they keep saying. All these immigrants getting kicked out. You forgot the first word. Illegal.
Yep.
You want to come here legally.
At that point, you've already broken 8 laws.
Yeah. It's like you've already broken at least the first part of that, and then the rest of it is just a mess. So you can do all the paperwork, and much like with you know our friend who's trying to do the right thing. Hopefully, anybody who's in process doesn't get caught up in any bullshit. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, I'm literally in the middle of waiting on my hearing. And
I thought he was done.
No, shit. Still working on it.
He's got to have his, I guess, the court thing for it to go through to ask for citizenship completely.
Okay. Yeah.
He's
already taken the test.
He's already done all of his stuff.
Okay.
And he's already been like sworn.
It's just waiting on. It's just waiting on that
legal naturalization.
Yes.
Yes, that. So it's like there's a lot of people who are probably in line. Then you have the whole DACA problem, which is still an issue with Jessica's co-worker because she and her, well, I guess hopefully soon to be husband. I don't know if they're actually going to get married, but they got a kid coming. is like they're both DACA. It's like, so they could both probably just get swept up at any point, even though they're not doing anything illegal and they were brought here as children.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do? It's like, okay, well, you give them the paperwork to just basically, they've already basically fast-tracked their existence in this country.
You keep your head down, you don't draw attention to yourself, and you let them go after the ones committing the crimes first while working on your own shit.
I agree with that, but I'm saying there are... Somebody was talking about fast-tracking DACA recipients or DACA kids. And I agree, as long as you are doing everything else legally, and also you've already paid a fuckload of money to the government to keep living here, because that's what it is. They just extort them for money. They're paying like $2,800 a year to be able to stay. Mm-hmm. That's not even a visa. They tax you to stay here. It's like, okay, that's fine. Why not just allow them to be a regular citizen?
Do they still have to leave the country and get a visa stamp somewhere else and then come back?
I don't know, but I do know that basically they could be deported at any time anyways, because they are also illegal no matter what, you know. But I also don't think that this what is it called, birthright citizenship. I do think that needs to be rescinded.
I think there needs to be conditions on it.
Well, obviously, but the point is, if you come here illegally just to give birth to your kid, they're not a fucking citizen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you move here and you're in the process of filling out your citizenship paperwork, or you move to the U.S. to be a citizen legally, yeah, that makes sense. If you just hopped over the fucking wall to give birth in Brownsville,
yeah,
and then fucking go back to your country.
Birthright citizenship, especially in border towns, needs to be on a case-by-case basis.
Well, I think that birthright citizenship needs to be abolished and a new thing established, because illegals should not have that ability. If you are a citizen already, whether you came here or not, if you immigrated here to this country and you have a kid, sure. But if you're a completely off the books person living here illegally the entire fucking time, or you came here to specifically give birth on our soil so that your kid would be a quote unquote anchor baby, that's fucked up and it needs to come to an end. Yeah. That's the problem. Because right now, and this is an issue, this is something China supposedly instigated, was they're sending Chinese citizens here on vacation to give birth on American soil in an American hospital, and then go get a visa just long enough to have the baby, go back to China with now a dual citizenship kid who can now run for office in the United States whenever they grow up in the CCP. It's like, yeah, that's a real fucking thing that can happen. And now you literally have communist trained people who are quote unquote American citizens just because they were here on vacation, quote unquote, because they only got a visa long enough to give birth and then went back. No, that's fucked up. That should not be allowed. Of course. Especially if you leave the country after giving birth. Like, nope. Sorry. That's like the Hank Hill problem. Hank Hill's technically Canadian.
Yeah.
Because he was born in Canada. It's like, no, he's not. He's a fucking American citizen. It's like he's a child of two American citizens, just happened to be born in Canada. Right. That's stupid. It'd be like us flying to fucking, the UK, somebody having a kid there, and be like, cool, our kid's going to run for king.
Well, it's like one of my friends.
Hail the king, y'all.
Yeah.
His dad was military and everything. He was born in Germany, but he is still a U.S. citizen because he was on base, basically.
Yeah, because he was on American soil.
A base is American soil, or in the embassy.
Yep.
That's technically American soil. Cool. If you're born in the airport...
No.
If you fly in, give birth in the airport, and you fly
like
back...
Tom Hanks in Terminal.
Yes. Good movie, by the way.
I've seen bits and pieces. I need to watch the whole thing.
It's a pretty good movie, because he's playing such a weird fish out of water character who's basically also, in a weird way, a castaway. Also, speaking of fucking war problems... because he couldn't go home because basically his country didn't exist anymore because the Civil War happened while he was on the plane. It was like, shit. It's like, we can't let you leave the international terminal.
I'm so mixed on Tom Hanks, though. I don't like him as an individual, but I like his movies.
That's okay.
Yeah, you can do that.
You can like the actor, or you can like the characters and not like the actor.
Yeah, it's like Tom Cruise and everything. You can like some of the stuff that he does. You just don't like him personally.
Goofy little fucker.
I said some of the things he does.
Yeah, I mean, like, we don't know what all he gets down as being the god of Scientology now, but, whatever. He seems to be nice. The fact that he has an infinite birthday cake budget is weird.
And has a plane collection.
That too.
A motorcycle collection, yeah.
Yeah. And he does all his own ridiculous stunts
Yeah.
in all these movies.
And he's what, 60?
over 60,
Yeah.
like 62 now.
Yeah.
Is this the final movie?
Yeah, literally. Well, the
said-
final one that he's
He
part
said
of.
it's done.
Okay.
Thank God.
Well,
I heard it was crap.
He's broken. I mean, hell, look how beat up Keanu Reeves has been in the last couple movies. I mean, just aching.
Well, Keanu Reeves had his spine broken while doing The Matrix.
Yeah. But he still insists
Cruise
on
is
doing his
not.
own fighting and everything. And he's just, I've heard interviews where after a cut, he's just leaning over, gasping for breath, hurting, limping all day.
I don't know about that, but maybe. I mean, tactical stuff for shooting and whatnot. Oh, by the way, I never got back. I was going to get into the John Wick movies, but guess where those are? Peacock.
Oh, shit.
I was like, God damn it. I was like, they
Then
literally.
I guess I'm going to get Peacock.
They pulled-
And I'm going to go through all
Yeah.
the John Wicks. I've seen 1 through 3. I haven't seen 4 yet.
I've not seen any of them, and like now I feel like I need to borrow them from somebody.
Well, my surrogate sister Corinne sat me down and made me watch the first 3 at her place, and they're
Yeah.
in-home theater, massive in-home theater.
Oh, made you. That's horrible.
It was, yeah.
Hey, you want to go sit in our theater and watch some kick-ass movies?
We had-
I don't know. It's fucking
I
terrible.
I brought a batch of my root beer moonshine.
Yeah.
We added everything, made it proper, put it on tap,
Oh, nice.
and had it there in the theater. It was so good.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, it was great. And then the rest we turned into slushies.
Nice. So, should we bother with Sean's question now that we're literally an hour and a half into the show?
For form's sake, yeah, sure, why not?
I mean, do I edit it back into?
Nah, just roll it now. It's organic. He was late.
He was way late, but also we talked an hour past when he sent it. Yeah, he sent it literally an hour ago. So, and then we'll talk about Chad, mental health,
Okay.
because we shared our shit. All right, so guys, I may edit this back into where Shaun would normally do the Shaun question. We'll just forget that we talked for an hour since then. But Shaun did send in a question. Hold on, let me check my audio right quick.
Yeah.
Oh wait, good thing I looked. I'm not attached to the unit right now. Give me a second. Because what's fun is when I'm sitting here editing and I can watch things on my phone through the Bluetooth, but then I go to the bathroom, take my phone with me, and I've got no audio because it's coming through the headphones.
I don't
in
know.
here.
That conversation we had last week was a little eye-opening. I've got a lot more going on than I thought I did.
Yeah, no shit. Also, I had some revelations about you yesterday at church when talking to somebody else about that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So,
Take 3.
And about the riots. Now, my question is, if you are the National Guard
okay.
or the Marines or the Army, whoever, you're military and you're called in to protect and somehow get some order going.
I mean, technically topical, so I might just leave it here.
Okay.
Actually, it fits kind of what we were talking about anyways. In the edit, I'll figure out where I'll put this.
On with this horse shit. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about protecting yourself and others from American citizens? Is there anything in there that would strike you as not right? You know what I mean? It's hard to say because I've never been put in that specific position, but I've talked to some Marines around here and I've tried to think what I would personally feel like. And it would seem like a job that you got to do that you don't want to fucking do, right? You're going to protect yourself and you're going to protect innocents and others that can't protect themselves. If someone's acting a fool, they're going to get treated accordingly, right? That seems the most just thing to do, even though there's still got to be something
Yeah.
in the back of your head. It's like, I fucking hate every second of this, but it's got to be done. Anyway, so the question is to you guys, how do you feel about that? If you haven't already asked yourself this.
Well, we kind of touched on that last week.
I covered that.
Yeah, you literally
Well,
said I would like to commit acts of violence.
I'd like
against
to
these idiots.
refine my answer.
Well, I don't think you said it on air. We said it after.
Well, I'd like to refine it.
oh, good. Because that was bad.
It's still not great. In that
Self-improvement.
scenario, as a peacekeeper being brought to
Don't say peacekeeper. Small p peacekeeper.
small p, brought in to quell or stem or prevent acts of violence. Violence and only violence needs to be answered with a slightly higher degree of violence in return. There's no way putting that down. You're not going to stop it. You're not going to talk them down. You're not going to de-escalate the situation. That needs to be stopped hard, fast, and in a hurry.
So you're not just going to be out there with a social worker?
No, there is a proper use of force continuum needs to be in place, dictating your response. But violence needs to be answered in kind.
So since we didn't talk about it last week because a lot has happened since then, you did have, and here's the thing. a lot of the violence against anyone that was going on during the initial LA riots, not the stupid shit this weekend, was almost all perpetrated by the LAPD, not the National Guard, and certainly not the Marines, who only got on scene just a couple days ago. Because they were doing extra training to deal with people on the street. Because if you're calling in the Marines, you're not fucking around. They're meant to do bad things. But in this case, it's like, okay, guys, we're not killing anybody.
Not yet.
We're not killing anybody.
Rah,
Okay.
rah.
So while I agree with your proper use of force argument, the obvious side needs to be said. The things that the military is being called in to do is basically guarding federal employees and agents so that they can do their job as they were ordered to do. They are not in the streets acting like police. They are acting as bodyguards for the fucking buildings and the security force for the federal buildings and the federal agents, which the ICE units, FBI, NSA, all those guys who are out there doing what we were talking about, doing the ICE raids, doing not anti-protesting, but basically busting people, which I thought was funny. They actually were arresting illegals at the ICE protest. That's hilarious in its own self. Ha! We tricked you. Fucking
This is convenient.
Uno reverse. We got you to turn yourself in, basically, is what it turned into.
We don't play Uno in America now. We play one.
That's fucked up. That is very fucked up. We're definitely not playing DOS. Nobody understands that game. But either way, no, I agree that. But here's the thing. And Shaun's right, the idea that you are going against American citizens, but you're not. I mean, you are basically in the idea that the people who are protesting on behalf of illegals and especially criminals, which makes no sense.
They have every single right to be out there and protest.
They have no right to commit acts of violence and destruction.
Exactly. And those bad actors are the ones that need to be put down. Not put down, killed, stopped with a reasonable amount of force.
Yes.
Depends on the situation.
Well,
what reasonable means.
Reasonable means if they're setting fire to something, you
Put them down.
You hit them with some tear gas, you arrest them, and you put out the fire.
If they're throwing, potentially life-threatening Molotov cocktails at you.
Yeah, if they're setting fire to things, or if they're chucking rocks off an overpass at cars, literally endangering people.
Yeah.
Or the one guy, they finally identified him, he was chucking rocks or concrete chunks at ICE cars going by.
Yeah.
Literally injured a couple people through the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did find out who he was eventually. Like, people who are committing acts of violence against federal buildings, for sure. But
putting them down is the wrong term. Stop the threat is the appropriate terminology.
Yes. Stop the activity.
Stop the threat.
With using, in theory, less than lethal force.
If applicable.
If they are using lethal force, you are using lethal
Exactly.
force. And more of it more accurately. However, the obvious fear is that will lead to people taking more severe action next time. Mm-hmm. So if you show up to a protest with 24 of your heavily armed friends, and then you start going after a federal building, well, now you've literally turned yourself into
a massive target.
A massive target for the military. Don't do that.
Yeah.
For your own safety.
At that point, it's weapons free.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, look, what are you even doing? It's like, you're not protesting anymore. You're literally doing the thing that you're yelling at the right about doing.
That's an active insurgency.
Yeah, that's an active insurgency. But the other part is they're using that whole Second Amendment thing for their terms. They think they're standing up against a tyrannical government, so they're taking up arms and forming militias. Mm-hmm. Okay, but what if my militia thinks that we're on the right side and you're on the wrong side? Whose militia is correct?
The one who...
The government's is the one that's like...
No, the one who's left standing.
Yeah.
And that right there is called a civil war. And that's basically like we knew that we were going to be facing Civil War II and World War III at the same time. Mm-hmm. We predicted this Trump's first term. Summer of Love 2020, we knew that this is what's going to happen. And with no COVID, people are just now somebody brought it up today. Why do these people not have jobs?
Exactly.
What the fuck are you doing that you can take off a whole week to cause chaos.
That's the
in
same
these cities.
demographic I was talking about that could go out and take these farm jobs and go help gather our produce and harvest our crops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're getting free paychecks to sitting at home.
Yeah.
Well, see, the other thing is they decided they're going to look into who is funding these things, especially the Soros people, because they said, hey, this is odd that somebody is organizing these protests.
Well,
Let's follow the money.
The Democrats basically bought pallets of bricks.
Somebody did.
Yeah.
I don't know who, but it's weird how every time these protests happen, pallets of bricks show up. It's beyond coincidence. Mm-hmm. That was all 2020. Everywhere in these riots, pallets of bricks showed up beforehand. But it's not the pallets of bricks that are the problem.
It's like a loot drop, you know?
No. The actual loot drop is the U-Hauls that show up with shields and helmets. Mm-hmm. Excuse me? Who bought riot gear? That means someone bought...
that means they bought it years ago and have it stockpiled.
No, that means they could have bought it 2 weeks beforehand, had a whole bunch of shit, and then they just literally carted it out there right before.
Big Amazon order.
but what we're saying is somebody is funding this shit. When they literally have footage of U-Haul trucks pulling up, unloading riot gear for these people that are just out there peacefully protesting. It's like, I don't think so. It's like, it sounds like you're doing militia work, that we've been told the militias are bad. And especially if they're right-wing militias. People like Patriot Fund's not real, those are feds. But like, we're talking about the Proud Boys. We talked about the other guys. I forgot the
Boogaloo Boys.
Those guys are actually pretty bad.
Yeah.
But it's just the idea that, like, you have these groups that form on one side, and then you got heavy groups on the other side that are quote unquote not organized. Like Antifa technically doesn't have anything. They're all disparate cells following message boards, being told what to do on the internet in secret places, or directly out online on Twitter, and Twitter just lets it happen. But it's like, you get that kind of shit, and it's backed by somebody. Somebody's buying all this shit. Somebody's sending out the instructions and building the insurgency like you're talking about. So the question is, when your own people are turning against you, whether you're a cop, a firefighter, or an ICE person who's just trying to do the thing that they're supposed to do. Are you fighting a yawn or a sneeze? Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Didn't help.
Yeah, Monster puts you to sleep.
Probably.
Yeah, I know it does for me.
That's the ADD.
I get about 20 minutes of energy out of a Monster.
Caffeine nap.
Sleep.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Yep, that's exactly right. Caffeine nap. That's why I fall asleep at 11.
Like Surge when we used to, when it was out.
But the whole point is basically you've got people who are being trained to literally fight this country and anybody in this country. And now we've gotten to the point that we have to use our actual military to defend the people who are trying to do their fucking job. Mm-hmm. Now, the fact that Trump didn't do this the first go around in 2020 is actually the part that they're like pissed off about. And, you know, the Gavin Newsom, like, he has no authority to take our National Guard. It's like, he does to do what he's doing with it. Because he's not doing what you said he's doing with it. He's literally just protecting the federal buildings. And that's why he's sending in the Marines, because we couldn't deploy them immediately. Now that the Marines are there, the National Guard can back off and go do whatever the fuck Newsom wants.
And now they got Democratic senators flipping and turning their backs on Newsom.
Hopefully. Well,
what's his name? Escapes me, but just this week,
there's a lot of them. It's hard to know.
But anyway, they completely flipped the script.
Yeah. Well, Newsom's an idiot. It's fine.
Yeah.
He's running for president. It's fine. That was the embarrassing thing that happened to him. He tried to do a fucking live stream to basically call out Trump and everything else like that. And the first go around had no audio. He tried to live stream this message, this Trump get the hell out of California message, and it had no audio.
Then what was it? That Senator Maxine Waters tried to force her way into some facility and basically had the door slammed in her face.
Yeah, she's like, I have a right to be in here. And he's like, no, ma'am, you don't.
I'm exercising my senatorial power or authority.
She's not a senator. She's a rep.
Whatever.
Yeah, different building.
But she's still annoying.
Oh, she's very annoying.
She's had the door slammed in her face.
She's the one who she's the one who's calling for violence in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. She's the one who basically said we're gonna keep committing acts of violence in the street till we get the outcome that we want in the Derek Chauvin trial. Like, excuse me? You said that out loud. Like, literally, stay in the streets.
Yeah, you said the quiet part.
They don't believe in the quiet part anymore. They just say what's on their mind because they know nobody will stop them. It was like, you just called for acts of violence to change the outcome of a fucking trial. And then it did, and it was fine. That Derek Chauvin needs to have a fucking retrial. Because he did not get his constitutional right to a fair trial. Because they wouldn't allow him to move it outside of Minnesota. Not that he could have a fucking fair trial in any state. So realistically, like, he can't be found guilty of murder for that bullshit. I mean, it's so stupid. Either way, I'm not going to retread all that, but Shaun brought up a good point, though. Is like, how do you square that circle of having to either withstand or commit acts of violence against your own people as a serviceman? You know,
That's easy. You just follow your training.
guess.
Stop the threat.
Usually,
If there's a threat, you stop it.
Yeah.
It's very black and white.
yeah. Maybe.
I mean, as soon as shit starts breaking down, training takes over. You stop thinking and you just act.
Yeah, but then when it's over, do you
That's-
deal with it? I mean, like, cops have to deal with it every day. That's a different story. Military is usually meant for external threats.
Yeah.
We don't usually turn our military against our own people if we can help it. You know, for obvious reasons. We don't want to have a tyrannical government because that's how you get one.
Yeah.
It's like, that's weird. It's like, it's almost like the government is just trying to stop the people from attacking itself. Mm-hmm. Huh. Very strange. But no, he's not wrong about that, because that would be a little hard to deal with when you're not trained to do that. So the go home time, do they new PTSD unlocked?
Yeah.
shooting my own citizenship because they're fighting me.
New achievement.
No. I was trying to segue back to the mental health thing. Is what I'm trying to do here.
You've got a new form of PTSD.
Like a new PTSD drop. So either way, so Heffy and I got to talk about our issues last week. Obviously, we did continue to talk about them a little bit after the fact, but Chad had to miss out on that conversation, unfortunately. So, current thing aside, like, what kind of, like, what have you dealt with, or how do you deal with things? Like, we talked about, like, loneliness and loss of friends, and obviously with him, he's got a bit more on the PTSD situation. But, like, in your life, do you have any of that shit, like bullying as a kid? Or
Well, I was bullied as a kid, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I moved from Spring to come up here, I was bullied. I was the outsider. I was considered the rich kid, and
And you were
basically-
probably smallish.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
everyone's small.
so yeah, I wore glasses. I had acne and everything, so I was the one picked on like crazy.
Yeah. Did you get in any fights or anything like that?
Not really.
Ever get beat up?
No, just
Normal picking?
armed. I mean, just kind of picked on, thrown around a little bit. Other than
Yeah.
that, then I got into sports, and of course, then I had the upperclassmen on that. kind of helped me out.
The hazing.
With yeah. Well, no, the
the
upperclassmen, they actually
support
helped
side,
me
the
out. They
support side,
supported
yeah,
me on
yeah.
that. So I had that going for me. Yeah. I mean, this kind of sucked growing up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I dealt with it. I mean,
Yeah.
in
How'd you deal with it?
Just, I did my own stuff, cars, racing. So I had my own like that. I didn't have a whole lot of friends. I mean, I had my circle of friends. Of course, one of them died recently.
Yep.
He was actually the first one I met when I moved here, and he's the one that welcomed me in. And so that's what hit me hard when he passed away.
Yeah.
So now I can't look towards him to have that kind of getting together type deal. So it kind of sucks. And he
Well,
was,
we are here.
yeah, I know.
Too.
That's why I asked my friend, my circle of friends is still small, which is good. Yeah, those are my true friends. So that's the way I do it.
So, because you weren't here to see this stuff, so we brought up a thing that. Yeah, it's okay. You're not on camera, so it's fine. It's fine. I'm trying to. He has such a hard time getting out of the door. All right, so basically, it's being a man shouldn't mean suffering in silence. A closer look at men's health.
Yeah.
I did send it in the chat, but it doesn't mean you guys got to see it. It's fine. But it also includes. Okay, that did not forward the video. Okay, so like men are less likely to seek any kind of therapy talk openly or ask for support or help. Depression in men often shows up as anger, substance use, or burnout, and usually goes unrecognized. And we really talked about anger and stuff last week. Obviously, with everything that's been going on, I know you've been definitely dealing with anger a lot. So what are you is there anything going on now or that you're doing to help alleviate any of the anger, or are you just shoving it down and hoping for the best right now?
Yeah, I kind of suppress it right now. I don't have, I don't
You know,
I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't
Yeah.
gamble, I don't do anything like that. So I don't go out.
Currently can't drink,
Yeah, well,
unfortunately.
I didn't really do a whole lot of that anyways.
Yeah. Well, you're not a drunk.
No.
Yeah. Me either. So is there anything you have at all right now as any kind of healthy outlet?
For me to do anything? I
mean, it doesn't
other
have to
than
be anything
just-
crazy,
No,
just
other than
something-
just working, but I don't do anything, man. I like to just come home and I sit and I watch a little bit of TV and everything. That kind of sets my mind at ease. I'm still a car guy, so I will watch my car shows.
Yeah.
As much as I would like to work on some of the things I got, but I just can't do it right now.
Yeah.
My state in mind and everything where I've been in the last couple of years is the fact I've been the sole provider
Yeah.
for the family. I'm the only one that works. I'm the only one that drives.
Yeah.
I take care of pretty much everything that happens. So everything falls on me. So
Yeah.
that, in a sense, is kind of like stressful in my sense, and I try to get my own
Because you're
mind at
literally
ease.
the keystone to hold
And-
it all up.
And it gets to a point, financially, it's hard. So,
Yeah.
and I
And-
keep myself from trying to ask so much help when it comes to that. So I'm like, I don't want. I try to make things
Well,
work out.
monetarily,
Yeah.
but yeah. But obviously, friends, and one of the things in here is that men basically have 1 to 5 actual friends nowadays.
Yeah.
That's it, just 1 to 5. Where back years ago, you probably have a significantly larger circle of friends, and then a tight knit, trusted friend group. But now you're lucky if you've got one person you can really open up to. Like I talked about how Shaun is basically like, I could talk to him literally about anything. That's why we talk all fucking day.
Yeah, I'm on 4.
Huh?
I got 4
For what?
friends
Oh.
that I can actually talk to.
I get male friends.
Yeah,
yeah, specifically. Yeah, obviously we have more friends other than that. But as you were talking about that, the slide I've got up here literally says like men tend to be providers, but never seen as people who need anything.
Yeah.
Because you want to be that. You don't ask for help, never cry. Except maybe in the dark, like alone, that situation. I cry a lot, but not like that. I usually my emotions come out when I watch things like Mike Rowe's show.
Coco.
Coco will fucking get you, dude. Coco will fucking get you. That's true. But no, but it is basically like shoving down a lot of those feelings, and especially like anger. That's the thing that is modern men have a hard time really dealing with, because we've been seen, especially since at least the Me Too movement, as just animals that if you have real feelings, you're not allowed to let them out anymore because somebody might complain. Like a normal, healthy expression of anger turns into, oh my God, why are you so abusive? Or whatever, or you're attacking me or whatever. And so you shove it down and you're quiet.
See, that's backfired. A lot of more and more
That
men are
was
embracing
my point.
that
Yeah.
animalistic side of themselves. They're just
who?
I'm unapologetically an asshole.
Correct.
You don't like it, fuck off.
No,
Some
I mean,
people put tolerated, and I like them.
It's not specifically that you're an asshole. It's that you have aspirations of violence with your assholery.
That's just in my nature. It's like telling a dog not to bark,
Quit barking. You know how your dogs learn to not bark? Work on that.
No.
Yeah. But anyway, the other part is like working yourself to death and then being seen as any kind of man related activities are toxic. Like the concept of toxic masculinity came up and then got hammered into everyone's mind. You just wanted to kind of be a bro dude sometimes. No, that's toxic. Or, trying to just reinforce what it means to be a guy, you get told no. You shove that shit down.
We had an incident Saturday at the Legion.
Another one?
Not an incident. Some new individual showed up and saw my dog sitting behind me.
Uh-huh.
And she asked the bartender, said, "Is that dog mean?" And Kathy went, "No, she's great. He's an asshole. He's the mean one."
And he's the one that will bark.
Yeah, he's the one who will bark and bite. It's fine. But yeah, so we talked about our unhealthy outlets, so to speak. Like this room is literally a monument to my.
That's one of the reasons I was so careful getting out of here. Y'all mentioned I have a hard time getting out.
Well,
I did not want to destroy this monument of loneliness.
yeah. Well, try not to break anything on the way out. Yes.
One good bump from me, this Fort Lonely will come just crashing down.
Well, no, the billies are all connected to the wall. They're not going to fall down.
Still.
Individual figures might fall down. The glass things can shatter.
it's
So watch
literally
those.
it's raining men.
Yeah. And women. There are women there too. Thank you. But no, just the idea that this was my outlet, like
Yeah.
bury myself in cool plastic things.
Well, I have something like this, but it's are all in boxes and everything right
Yeah,
now.
you're-
I haven't made my room.
So that's also that.
Yeah.
So a lot,
You haven't. Apparently, you're not allowed.
So actually, you have even worse problem because you could have a somewhat healthy outlet for your hobbies, likes, or whatever you want to call it. But you have a room now. You just don't have the time and money to make it happen yet. But we will. We're gonna work on getting your temple of loneliness. It's fine.
Speaking of that, do we need to come over and help you move the table?
I already got it out.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I figured that was already taken
No,
care
it's already
of.
taken care of. We took it
That was
apart.
weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
That's not even a problem anymore.
But we had it in there for a little bit.
Oh, but speaking of tables, I have been looking at getting a round table to replace this desk, but I need to get the desk out of here so I can do that whole visualizing the area. Because I'm thinking a 42 inches roughly as big as it's going to get. Because 47, we're going to be up against the fucking cabinets. But basically, getting rid of this desk and replacing it with an actual normal round table, changing the entire fucking setup. Or I thought about getting 3 tall bar tables and we each sit at one, but then I have to do some fancy placement of shit. But
Well, if you did the round table, we could do a 4-top and still have an extra guest if we wanted to.
well, the fourth top will be where the camera is.
Yeah.
So it would actually be basically sitting closer to each other on the two sides of the thing. So cameras still have to be on the one side. Mics would all have to be mounted. Computer would have to be somewhere. But the one I'm looking at has a little base in the middle down below. So I could put all the power needs down there, drill like an 8-inch hole, run all the cords down and in. So I have almost nothing on the top of the table. But I was just looking at it. So because I can get that table for like 120, and just modify it slightly. But I've just been looking at it because this is not ideal.
Yeah.
But mostly it's because you guys can't put your legs under anything, so it fucks everything up.
Well, I can.
Well, sort of, but like you can't get
Not comfortably.
you can't get all
Yes,
up under
yeah.
the desk like I
Yeah,
can.
I put my legs under me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like you would it would work if you just sat right there, But you guys, can,
I
either way.
constantly move, so if y'all are wondering
Yeah.
why I fidget and everything, it's because my legs and everything.
Yeah. You have a little bit more room than he does. Because you have a door that doesn't need to be opened yet over there.
That
Also,
needs-
I was looking at getting the another rolling chair. I got to get that too. That's about $200. So I'm looking.
Well,
at
I've got a chair at the shop I could probably bring.
I know, but I need a permanent solution.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so I'm gonna probably get another one of these, so Heffy can have a chair for heavier people.
See, that's my thing. I don't ask for help. I at least
Yeah.
try to give help. That's my deal.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is I don't, and we talked about that last week because I had people who would help me, and then they betrayed me. Mm-hmm. So then I had to fight on my own. So that's why reason I can like to control everything, which is where we didn't talk about your issues last week. Is all about control. Mm-hmm. Down because the greater part of your life is out of control or out of your direct control. So you keep paring it down to the thing you can control the most, which is you and a dog in a van.
Yes.
Yeah, that's your main issue.
That's my happy place right now.
Yeah, but that is your main mental issues is your feeling of lack of control over the things in your life, like the other people who cause you stress in
Yes.
your life. Because you have no control over those people, you are exerting control over the few things you can do, and that's why you get so angry at the other things that shouldn't be that hard to control.
Right.
Yeah. So we didn't touch on that. That's the realization I had yesterday while talking to Randy, who wanted to be here today, but he couldn't. So we were going to have a guest originally. So shout out to Randy.
I feel your pain. So,
But yeah, it is. I mean, it's not that we're. I mean, I'm very controlling, but I also am willing. But I'm willing to delegate things when I know people can do it. But also the idea
You
that
don't.
okay, well, what can I delegate? Would you like to push buttons and determine when to switch cameras?
Yes.
You'll literally do what I do, set it on the 3 camera, and never change it because it's the easiest way to do. But I was like, there are certain things that I don't mind. Like, I let you do some of the intros and shit. I gladly hand Chad some shit to
And
do.
I finally got it all today.
Yeah. Out of order, but you got it.
Who cares? I got it all.
The guy who edits cares. Because now I had to move where the things are.
If I get it all, that's a win.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's one thing because this is mine. That is why when it's not my one thing, then I don't care to have help. You know what I mean? It's like, if we're working on a project, fucking bring in as many hands as possible. More hands makes less work. I'm fine with that. We're building fucking something. Cool. Pick up a goddamn drill and get to work so I don't have to do that part of it over there. Just everybody get on one page and then go to work. Right? It's not like, hey, I need you to do this or whatever. Or, hey, can you host the show for one fucking day?
Yeah.
Do you think I would ever hand that over to anybody?
You don't teach us to do that. You don't teach us how to run this, so we can't.
Well, it would also be hard to let you in to do this when I'm not here.
Exactly.
So that's why it is kind of silly. There's no reason I wouldn't be leading the show. Be like, hey,
One day you'd be out. It'd just be me and Chad on our cell phones.
Literally, right? Be like, hey, push the button. It's fine. Yeah.
Here, edit this.
It's like, yeah. I mean, like,
we're at the farm sitting by the pond.
Yeah. I mean, like, so in the case of the podcast, there is nothing to hand over to do anything except maybe design work, which I already talked to you about getting together to do some design stuff. Because that's something I know that we can work on together. And if we needed to build something for the show, I would reach out to you.
Yep.
Like, we've done that before. The fucking backdrop up there, the window blocker, we did that.
That's worked great.
Yeah, it would be way hotter in here. Like, as warm
and
as
way noisier.
Dude, even when he first started, we didn't have that blocking the window because there's a giant fucking bay
We'd
window.
become
right there.
moist.
As warm as it gets in here with all these lights and 3 bodies and computers running, already it was 10 degrees hotter.
Well, because you get 6 hours of sun right there.
Yeah, it was 10 degrees hotter a year ago in here.
God,
during
it's been
the
over
summer.
a year, hadn't it?
Probably.
February.
Well, a year since we did that, probably.
But I started February of last year.
Sure.
I think so.
Yeah, it was Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Now that I looked at it. No, wait.
Wow.
Valentine's Day is our anniversary. Sorry, never mind. That's the show's anniversary, Valentine's Day. You started at episode 80-something.
84.
83 or
83
80. I think it's 83 or 84. I forget which one is the first one, but because you just came on the.
Those were rough for the first 4 weeks until I actually got comfortable.
Yeah, that sounds like me. I'm still trying to get there.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, you're good, dude.
We don't let you talk. That's the problem.
No, you don't talk.
You are the. Well, that's why.
See, that's my thing is that I try not to talk over everybody. I was told that I yell so much.
Well, you are yelling a little bit right now.
Right now, so you can hear me.
I know. Well, the mic can hear you.
Yeah. But if I don't talk.
But so here's the fun part. When it was just me and him sitting here, he would interrupt what I was saying. So go back and listen to his first 12 episodes. He would just start talking over me about something else.
That's because you never shut up.
We're having a conversation about something. Your brain goes wherever, and then you just instantly started talking.
Was pre-medication, though.
Yes, I know.
And things have been better.
Well, there was a few rough weeks where you got off or drunk. When you're drunk, it was way worse. It was so much worse. But literally, I'm sitting here talking to him about the thing we're talking about, and then he just starts talking about something else while I'm talking. I'm like, we're the only two in the room, and he decided to have a new conversation. I was like, okay, didn't wait for it a word edgewise. He literally just starts talking. I'm like, okay. Now that's one reason why I'm pausing to ask you specific things and letting you vent, because I do feel like obviously I'm way more used to it than everyone else. He's been here long enough, but you're still fitting in otherwise.
Well, it's like most of the times when I watch the show and everything come back, I mean, I'm still quieter by quite a bit from you two.
Yeah.
I sound like I'm too. So I'm finally getting to the point where I feel like I need to project, but for the longest time, I've been told that I yell too much. I mean, when it comes to
Might just be a hearing problem.
No, it's not just that.
Well, it's everyone else's hearing problem.
Well, that's their problem.
It's their problem.
It's people. To interrupt you, it's you not being able to get heard.
But it's not that. It's even my parents.
I don't mean on the show. I mean in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's more the sense of the fact that they just don't want to either listen to me or whatever. But it feels like they always tell me, it's like, why are you yelling at me? I'm like, I'm not. This is the way I'm talking. This is why you look like you're mad at me. This is my face. I mean, I'm sorry. I have a resting asshole face.
You do have a resting asshole face.
So that's just me.
Yeah.
I can't change it. God gave me this. I can't.
You look as mean as he is. But you're somewhere in between me and him.
Yes, I can't change that. I'm sorry.
No, it's unfortunate.
It's just me.
But you do have happy eyes.
Yeah.
You do have
Oh.
you do have very happy eyes, but the rest of your face looks pissed off at the time. But also, if you're sitting there with your arms crossed, you definitely look angry. Even if you're not, you're just sitting there waiting for something to talk about.
I could just look at someone and say, why are you mad at me? I'm like, I'm not. I'm just listening.
Yeah.
You know, if they talk,
But-
I'm looking at you. That's it.
But considering we're talking about men needing to talk more, you know, I mean, you weren't here to literally say your piece, but that is kind of the thing is like, especially if it's just you and your significant other, sometimes you feel like you just can't say shit, or if you do, they ain't fucking listening.
Exactly.
It's like,
That's 100%.
yeah. And
Have to repeat yourself 2 or 3 times. Yeah. I've stopped.
And then depending on the subject, it fires back at you.
I've
So,
stopped repeating myself.
we know because you've repeated it repeatedly.
Yeah. It's still, it
On the
irritates
show,
hell
you've
out of me.
repeated that.
Yeah.
I'd just like to point that out. Oh, so you know how Jessica and I are deaf in opposite ears?
Yes.
The other day, we happened to be sitting the other direction. She's like, oh my God, I can actually hear you talking.
Nice.
She was sitting on my left, and we could have a conversation.
New
without-
seats.
No, we're not doing that at home because that's weird. We've always sat on the sides that we sit on, and we've always slept on the sides except for like vacation. Mm-hmm. We always we sleep in a similar orientation, but not always on the same side of the bed, depending on the room. But like we can't sit that way because I drive everywhere when we're together. That's why we sit the way we sit. But it's the same problem as like she says something or she's not listening and I'm not listening. But I was an only child, so I didn't have anybody to talk to other than my friends or myself. So like I used to like just make up stories and like play out these long diatribes by myself to keep myself entertained. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I've got an infinite library of all the stories I've ever written in my head, and I probably remember most of them because I didn't have anyone to fucking talk to. So me sitting here talking to myself to a camera came real fucking easy when it came to YouTube. So having actual people in front of me, you wonder why I never shut up? Because I never had anyone to talk to. I was a very lonely fucking kid. Mm-hmm. You're a very lonely adult.
Yeah. I've been getting new stories whether I wanted them or not here lately. I guess it's a change in medication, but I've been having ridiculously vivid dreams that make absolutely no sense.
Yep.
I mean, just random shit. Hell, this morning when I was sleeping, it was me getting ready for a deployment
Yeah.
with people I didn't know and going to places I've never been.
Are you traveling the multiverse?
Yesterday, before a nap, it was me in a college
Yeah.
doing something, wandering around half lost.
Wait, did you go to college?
No. I mean, I'm getting new stories.
That's weird.
It really is.
That is weird for you.
I wake up very confused.
Yeah, maybe you are, Chef. Maybe you are.
And it's one of
bouncing
those
around
where
the multiverse.
you know you're dreaming and you know it's taking a while and they're last hours
Yeah.
into the story. And you're so immersed in it, you wake up and you're like, what?
Yeah. I think you might be traveling the multiverse.
Nice.
Maybe. Had that conversation with Brad at
We'll see what happens
Bar this
in
weekend.
the morning.
yeah, right.
Another story. I need to start writing this shit down.
Fill us in, yes.
Tales from the multiverse.
Better than writing it down, just pull out your camera and talk at it
Yeah.
about what you remember because it's easier than writing it down.
Yeah.
Because that way you can just hear it in your own words and write it down later. I haven't been having very vivid dreams lately.
See,
I think
and
I'm not sleeping good enough.
I've never remembered my dreams. Very, very rarely do I actually remember a dream.
You also-
Now they stick with me hard.
And you also don't have deja vu. So if you fucking experience deja vu, you better call me.
Right.
I want to know. So we had a whole deja vu
Yeah.
episode.
So right when it happens, we need to kind of fill everybody in. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because he said he'd never experienced deja vu ever. And we did a whole episode on what deja vu was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, memories of the multiverse. So
I don't know if it's new meds or new sleep pattern or something. We'll see.
well, we already talked about how you don't sleep enough, which most men don't do.
Yeah, I get maybe 5 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah, and,
Now Thursday and Fridays I'll sleep in
yeah,
if the dog will let me.
yeah. So, and that's something we didn't cover at all was basically sleep is how your brain resets from stress of the day and, you know, your body recovers. And we're not sleeping enough or sleeping deep enough. And plus you got on a new CPAP. That probably helped a lot too.
Yeah.
But-
I'm using 2 different machines now depending on where I'm sleeping.
Yeah, well, could be down to one machine soon.
But yeah, for real.
I'm so looking forward to when the apartment goes away.
Why?
I just want to hear all your news stories about the chaos at home.
Oh no.
Or how things are getting so much better because you guys are dealing with your problems directly. and
I don't think
running
it
away.
will. It'll be me
No more
hammering on the
avoidance.
same shit. And them going, well, I'm tired of you bitching about this. Well, don't give me a fucking reason to bitch about it.
Yeah. So things will get dealt with.
Yeah, we'll see. Or I'm just
You know the best way to build a deck? Leave when the screws run out.
Or I'm just going to end up building a shop with living
That's what he
quarters
does.
and moving to my house.
My point is, if there's an issue at home, you just run away. But if you have nowhere to run, you got to deal with the issue.
Exactly.
Yeah. So build the deck instead of getting mad at it. Or get mad at it and then build it anyways. And I don't mean to live on. I'm talking about metaphorically here.
My situation is I will actually
Oh, yes.
talk about it. The other half will not.
Really?
They close up. Yeah. They
Really?
don't want to talk about anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I took... So Jessica and I have had to have some decent fights because we weren't talking things through. Because she was feeling like she didn't have an outlet to talk about any of her feelings, and the depression was just building and building and building until it turned into a fight because she said something really shitty to me, and then I unload because we didn't talk. You know, we're sitting next to each other on the couch. You know, obviously we can't hear each other if we did talk, but you know, if we switch places, and then maybe we could have a real fucking conversation, and neither of us would have, well, we might have a problem, but at least it wouldn't be inside our own head anymore. Because I know I live way too much in my head. But then I also yell at myself in the work vehicle because, God, I would love to see somebody like follow me around one day just recording my.
Don't you have that?
No, my out loud conversations at work. Like, just like, because I got to think, like, one, when I'm watching Kill Tony and laughing my ass off, but nobody else can hear what I'm hearing, it's got to be fucking weird, right? To see a dude literally driving down the street, like, laughing his ass off, and there's like, or just like yelling really, really inappropriate things because it was hilarious. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I kind of forget that I'm sort of in public.
Yeah.
It's like people can and usually if I got to go to a customer that's like in public, I turn everything off. Like, so I was like, okay, because it's gonna get real weird if I hear a very inappropriate joke and I'm talking to a customer. It's like, whoops. Yeah, just like laughing out loud and yelling very inappropriate things in public places.
Cam Patterson dropping N-bombs.
Also why I stopped having a speaker.
Yeah.
Because, good Lord, you cannot watch Kill Tony out loud in public. No. But, so that's one reason, that's one way I think I've been dealing with a lot of my stress and bullshit is trying to laugh more. Because that's a automatic, like, brain candy. Mm-hmm. You know, help dark thoughts go away by funny dark thoughts that came from someone else.
Yeah.
And so that's when I like watching Kill Tony every week. I think that's why Tuesday is usually like my best day, even if I'm having a bad day. And like, and watching our show, you know, when we say funny shit also makes me laugh, you know, like, you know, talking about Starbucks employees that are fucking retarded and things like that, you know, that helped me. Like I will watch us laughing at shit that we said 2 weeks ago and laugh at it. And I'm like, I was there and this is still funny, you know, and I think that is it's a simple way of healing, you know, not just locking off into.
It's a visual representation of things are getting better.
Well, trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going back to the sleep thing, and I think you were mentioning that sleep was a real pain in the dick lately too. Just brain never shutting off and constant worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point where I'm sleeping a little bit better, but
Yeah.
I've realized that deal with the things you can deal with and don't worry about the things you can't. I mean, that's what.
Yeah. I mean,
you're stressing so much about some of the stuff that you have no control over, and I just realized I need to just kind of let go and see what
relinquish
happens.
that control and hope for the
Well,
best.
you can't self-medicate at the moment, but Unisom, the sleep melts, those really work. They work
I
very
just take
well.
melatonin.
I
don't need
always
it,
wake
but I
up
do.
too groggy after melatonin.
I don't wake up groggy. I just wake up. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
If I take 3 melatonin, I should not be waking up after 2
I wake up
hours.
so groggy.
I'm never groggy with it. I was groggier on Ambien.
I never touch that.
Oh, your brain would be fun on Ambien. There'd be so many things getting guarded in your underwear. You'd be out there like plate carrier and underwear going to work, and you don't even know it. You're just asleep guarding a parking lot.
Why do you have
around
an axe? Yeah.
It's like, no, why do you only have your backpack on? Jeff. And you have full conversations while guarding people.
Yeah, I don't need to be on Ambien. That's just dangerous.
I miss Ambien a little bit, though, because I definitely had some of the best dreams on Ambien. But otherwise, you know, melatonin just because I was having a hard time sleeping and not feeling rested, even though I'm wearing my CPAP and everything else like that. It's just like, even like my watch monitoring me, I'm not getting as much deep sleep as I feel like I am, but I'm getting that, like, I had a couple dreams lately that were like good enough to remember, but other times I'm like, I don't even know if I slept. Like, it didn't feel like it, and that's, your brain needs that fucking reset. And like, things haven't been nearly as stressful around here lately, but there's been a couple bad fucking weeks where I'm just dealing with a lot of bullshit, especially from work, because it's where most of the bullshit happens. I mean, we have family problems still. Like, I went to my parents' house yesterday for Father's Day and fixed their lawnmower, which, good Lord, sludgy fucking oil coming out of that thing.
Hell.
It had never been changed.
Oh,
So oil, did you do a carby build and all that?
No, it didn't have a car. Well, it was a full tune-up in a box. So, John Deere tune-up in a box.
Yeah.
So, enough oil, new filters for everything, and everything.
New
like
plug.
that. New plug. Because that was a dirty fucking plug. But also had to figure out how to do all that because I had no manual. It was like, I'm sitting there,
Did they have a drain tube, or was it just
Tube.
those help? This called a drains it, and
Yeah.
I added one to my my mower.
Yeah.
Huge difference
well-
instead of just pouring out onto the
Well,
frame. And
when you're looking for a fucking bolt and you're like, where the fuck, how do you drain this fucking thing? And then I go around the other side. I was like, oh, yeah,
the Cub Cadets come with one.
yeah, this is a John Deere.
Okay, yeah, that's super easy.
I mean, the filter got oil everywhere, but the drains it didn't. But I had to try to cram the fucking, because I had it up on the ramps because I thought I had to get under it. Clearly I didn't, but it helped me not have to bend over so fucking far. But it was pouring ass rain while I was doing it, and like, I'd back the car halfway into the garage so that I could access the trunk. Did not know the gutters were blocked up. So the rain was coming down the back of the car into the garage, and I couldn't get in the car to move it because the bulk of that water was coming down on the fucking driver door.
At least you didn't have someone come out and try to help.
If not for the rain, I'm sure my dad would have tried.
I told you about when I was changing the blades, right?
Yeah.
Just no reason at all. Pull out the water hose while I had the blades off and started hosing out the underside of the mower.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good idea, but not while you're there.
Yeah, I just dropped it. I said, so not finish it yourself. I don't care. I'm not getting in the mud.
Yeah, thanks for that. Well, actually, that's what I was waiting on, was the rain to slow down so I could pull it out to hose it out, because it does need new blades, but I wasn't going to do that today, or that day. But like, basically, it was actually very peaceful. I just got to stay out in the garage the whole time listening to actually our podcast. I was just listening to the audio version. After I listened to I was listening to the Kill Tony Father's Day special from last year with Jody Plachey.
Okay.
Because if you haven't seen that, that's some funny fucking shit. Talk about men dealing with stress. That dude spent years getting raped by his karate instructor and then turned it into a comedic career, basically. Because it's like, what else do you do with that trauma? You know? It's like, I haven't had a lot happen to me in my life, but I'm sure I've still got some trauma from that shit. I think I deal with it healthily. I'm not sure. I'm not out there doing bad things to people. Technically. Oh, I'm sure the toys have nothing to do with
that's what I'm looking at.
No, that's just bad habits. That's, hey, that looks cool. All my friends are buying those too. That was
Fiscal irresponsibility.
well, to be fair, a lot of it is FOMO. Other stuff is just me liking cool shit. That is the problem when you get into a hobby with a lot of other people that do the same thing. So you get torqued up by the same shit they're doing. So you're like, I gotta have that. I gotta have that. I gotta have that. And then other part is like, this is just kind of fun. At least the Transformers are kind of fun because you can, if you like transforming the things, which I do. But the model kits I don't really do anymore, and I'm kind of mad at myself about that.
Yeah.
Because that was how I was dealing with a lot of my stress and loneliness, was building model kits. That's why I have hundreds of them built and not on display.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of models that are in boxes and everything still and packed away. So I mean, they were up on the wall and everything. That's why they were done. Yeah. Now I have got like 2 or 3 I got to put together that were given to me and just haven't done it. I was on a place to put them. I put them together. I'm like, where the fuck am I going to do it?
Yeah. All those ones above your head up there, directly above your head, most of those are unbuilt. Yeah. There's a couple that are built, and everything else over here is almost entirely built and just crammed in a box. Just like, because that was how I dealt with things. That's how I dealt with being alone. Tried to turn it into a quote unquote career on YouTube. So, I mean, I was trying to monetize my hobby, basically, but that's how I built my community around it. And like you're talking basically like what other than what we do here, is there a community at all that you have to sync yourself with?
No.
Like not in racing or anything else like that? I know you guys have been getting into the golfing thing.
I'm heading next week to look for clubs.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm going to start golfing with Chad and Heidi. I'm just like, oh, great, another hobby you don't need to jump into.
Pretty much.
It's just getting out there. That's one thing I like
need to
about
get
it.
out and move. Do stuff.
Yeah, you get out and enjoy the day. Doesn't matter how good you are or whatever like that. That's what's fun.
He's going to work on
And my son's getting into it.
Yeah,
too.
he's talked to me a little bit more about what he's doing. He enjoys it, so getting y'all together and doing that'd be great.
Yeah, it would be.
I'm not going to golf.
I don't
Don't expect you to.
But I will sit.
I'm going to start.
I will sit in the cart
I was
and
gonna say you can sit in the
distract.
cart.
I'm going to
sit
get
in the
back
cart
into
and
golf
distract.
just like I got back into bowling. The first half day is going to be awful.
At least bowling, you don't have to have that big of an investment in.
Right.
It's pretty cheap, ultimately, to go bowling.
Well, golf
Golfing can be pretty expensive.
I mean, you can get
Depending on
a
where
whole
you're
set
going.
of clubs and everything. I mean, if you really want just to get into it and just have fun with it, I mean, you can get like $300.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get a full set and everything. That's
I'm going to head to
Just
Golf
want rental
World and get
clubs.
measured. See, I think I need a 38 and a half as inch and a half over standard.
Yeah.
And then see what they have in the used category. But about $400 I'll invest in it.
Nerd.
Yeah.
He's going to be fucking practicing his putt and everything in the parking lot at work.
Probably.
He's gonna end up building a portable fucking putting system he's gonna have in the parking lot.
Well, they have those you can buy.
Why do you have a reel mower at work?
Yeah.
Right? Because I can just see him practicing shit at work because he's got nothing better to do.
Nope.
I talked about doing like a small par 3 in my backyard.
Yeah. Well, that's what we did. I mentioned that before. We had that across our entire yard.
Yeah, the water hazard and everything.
The giant water hazard, yeah. Variable water hazard because it keeps changing size.
Yes.
What you do is you set up a pin out in the middle of it and try to chip at it.
Yeah, a little float.
Yeah, that little floaty. Yeah, that'd be fun, actually. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap up the show because I'm sure he's going to start hitting the I gotta go soon button.
He's looking at his phone. So.
No, we're good.
Well, at least he's not watching reels while we're talking.
Not today.
Not today. That was on camera, too, that whole time. We were just sitting there like... There's just like endless footage of Heffy not doing the show.
Completely checked out.
Just completely checked out because other people be talking. I don't fucking care about it. Either way, so... Well, one, I am glad you're back here today because we did miss you last week, And we need to get back on doing... As soon as we can effectively manage it, get back on doing some kind of family get-togethers. Because I know, like, obviously we're not going to go to certain places at the moment.
Right.
But guys, I did want to say that at least for right now, tentatively, we will be attending a cool event at Frankenbolt's coming up on the 28th of June. I think some tickets are still available for that. I'll share the link. So we will, at least Heffy and I will be there. Chad's working on being there. Situations, but we'll figure it out. Hopefully you can get the clearance to be there because that would be awesome because that won't be for the show, technically speaking, but we will be there representing the show.
Yes. We'll be there hanging out.
We'll be there hanging out. It's going to be really cool. It's with guys from Barbecue, Booze, and Brews.
I'll have the river in tow.
The river.
Yeah.
El River. So that'll be fun. So apparently because Copperhead has announced that they're closing effectively, well, kind of effectively. Also, I know somebody who knows people who seem to be interested, so perhaps they won't be closing.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because if Seth gets his way, he just won't own anything. He'll just be working there.
Salaried brewmaster.
So Copperhead can remain. There'll just be other people running the shit.
Yeah, because they're checked out.
Yeah, 100%. Either way. So everybody started hanging out at Frankenbolt, even though it's way the fuck out.
It is way the fuck. That's why I've not been there.
It is way the fuck out there, but it is a lot of fun. Once I get the AC settled, it'll even be better because God, it was hot in there Saturday because all the heat from the pizza oven was basically blowing into the brew house because they tore out the main wall and they're rebuilding everything. Actually, I'm probably going to go out there at least one day this week and help them because hey, you guys need a hand with anything? I'm handy. I can hold up stuff and screw it in place. I can yell and be disappointed too. So either way. So guys, it is still going to be June. This should And we'll probably have more people on to talk about mental health stuff. I got 2 guys from church that are interested.
Very good.
So may not need you guys for an extra episode. We'll see what happens.
Hey, if you do that, give us a week off or whatever.
Well, it might be extra. If anything, those guys will come over, record a segment, and we'll just include it.
There you go.
Somewhere.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to do. So Randy really wanted to be here because he's a big nerd too. Because he geeked out in here when they came to visit for the men's Domino's night. So, and then Victor as well. He's another geek. He's an anime geek. So he's been wanting to come on the show, but he just got such a weird schedule because he's in the medical profession. So it's like if he's not working, he's probably sleeping, kind of like you, but with less guns, less guns and dogs. So either way, but Victor actually lives not that far away. So I need to hook up with him at some point when he's got a day off, because he said he wants to. He just got back to me really, really late, Like last Monday, he's like, I want to.
And with some heads up, we can get my Marine buddy.
Okay.
Come on with us.
That's on you.
He's into the same stuff. Just
Yeah. Well, that's on you to connect to him.
Okay.
You have the go button there. You just tell me when to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you tell him and then
Or
tell me.
let us know when you know you're not going to be here.
Okay.
Or we could plan for someone to not be here. Instead of it being completely random, we can go, hey, we can get him next Monday. Chad, do you want the day off?
There you go.
How about that? Instead of going, well, hopefully Chad doesn't need the day off. All right, so I'm going to take off next week. Heffy's going to run the show.
Yeah.
This will be fun.
I'll be in the living room, and you guys just come in here and push buttons. That'd be the funniest thing. It's like, I'm just not participating today. I'm just setting it up and leaving, and you guys don't fuck it up.
We'll be talking. We'll be talking the whole time and no audio.
Yeah, literally no audio, not even recording.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, if I forget to push the buttons and I know where they all are, you guys are going to fuck it up.
Right.
But it'd be funny.
Or it's gonna be video on him,
The whole time.
audio on me, and there's nothing else going on. So
Well, at least luckily you can't
We'll
fuck.
have the camera screwed up. We'll be looking away
Yeah.
from each other.
Well, luckily that never has to change as long as everything stays where it is.
Yeah.
But
Don't
it won't.
move anything.
good luck on that.
Yeah, good luck on that. Well, at least on the audio front, if you bare minimum just push that button right there, and then at least there'll be audio.
There you go.
So you can see that. I can't see nothing. So
Yeah, I would trust Chad to do it
Really?
over you. Yes, because you're good in that spot.
I'm good in this spot.
Yeah, I don't know if you could host.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know.
how the hell would I be able to do that?
Yeah.
Why I'm the one that talks the least and everything. Oh, I can host.
Hi.
You talk, guys, but you talk the least in the presence of me talking the most. If
Okay.
I'm not talking, odds are you will.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes. Because you would be leading the show. That's a different story. Because then you would have things to talk about. There's a difference between being reflective of conversation happening at you
Yeah.
versus you hosting the conversation.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll have a Chad and Heffy show one day.
We'll do it one day.
I'll just literally be sitting outside the door waiting
They
for
go down in
everything to go
flames like
wrong.
crazy.
And we'll be placing bets on how long it takes you to go, you're doing it wrong.
We'll just play some weird audio in the
It would probably
background.
be about 30. I would say it'd be about 28 minutes when you realize that you weren't recording at all, or the lights go off, or the camera dies.
See, I'm the one who's looking. I'm sitting
Yeah.
here. I'm like, okay, is there things?
Yeah, so you
going?
take
I'm
note
doing
of where
yeah.
things are and how things go. The only thing is like just knowing what buttons
Buttons
to push
to
for the
push, yeah.
cameras. But then once again, you set it on the 3-camera setup and never worry about
I'd be
it.
hitting all the little noise buttons the whole damn time and making
Which
fun
we
of
haven't even done in a little while.
it. No.
Nope, we haven't done it.
Oh wait, he's never heard the new drop.
Ooh, there's no one.
Yeah, he never heard the new drop. Hold on. It's been only on one show.
Nuh-uh. You're the retard.
Yeah. Shaun's Weetod drop. So, yeah, I forgot about that one. And then just for Heffy. Actually, that wasn't the fuck one. I forgot the fuck
That's
one.
so great.
No, that's... Fuck. Yeah. That's actually better. That's actually better than the correct one. That's fine. See, we got to make ourselves laugh so we stop crying. Not to keep from crying, but to stop crying. Either way, guys. So that's going to be it for the show. We've gone a bit long here. It's fine. We talked at least about some of the things that are on fire in our own lives and across the world. So that's good enough for me, I think. And yeah, we're just looking forward to movies and other shit happening, and me eventually somehow watching Murderbot.
One of these days.
Someday it'll happen. Someday. Oh, there was a new thing coming up that I just saw the other day, and I forgot what it was.
You know what's going to happen. He's going to watch it and he said, this thing is shit.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Both of us will enjoy it. He's like, I don't like it.
I mean, I'll be critical of it no matter what.
No.
Doesn't mean I won't enjoy it. It might just be stupid.
It is, but it's fun and kind of stupid.
I mean, I like fun, stupid
Yeah.
things. It's fine.
It goes well with this group here.
I mean, if the show wasn't called Now You Made It Awkward, it'd be called Fun and Stupid
it's
with
the
these
whole,
guys.
the snarky attitude through the entire thing.
Yes.
The commentary of the protagonist is
If
great.
it's better than Resident Alien, I'm on board.
Yes.
Okay, thank God, because that show went downhill so fast, and I'm not even watching the new season because now that he's stuck at basically being human,
Yeah.
I'm just like not interested. 'Cause
I couldn't get through the first season.
first season's actually pretty good. Second season
Those are
starts going
rough.
downhill. Third season is ass. It's like they lost their way, as it were. Either way, so guys, make sure to do the like and subscribe thing here to our channel, wherever it is you might be watching or listening. Follow, subscribe, rate it if you're on any of those things that allow you to hit stars, stripes,
Thumbs up.
rainbows, whatever. Shout out to our LGBTQ friends. It's still kind of Pride Month. It's Pride Month. It's June.
Okay.
Rainbow Coalition.
You go enjoy.
The Rainbow Mafia. They're mostly fun. At least they're not setting fire to anything right now.
Yeah.
They're just
For the
riding.
moment.
they're just riding bikes naked through the street. It's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it is what it is. Either way, so yeah. So Heffy, do the thing over Grounded and Grumpy. Follow me at _Shoki. Go check out Chad at C4 Graphics, and of course follow this here at Nimea_pod
There you go.
on the socials. And I'm still got to figure out why the fuck Meta keeps connecting my personal Facebook to the fucking
Just
show.
it hates you.
I don't know why it does that, and it annoys the shit out of me. I would like to share this to the Facebook. Stupid fucking thing. But with that,
Okay.
bye.